By the way, this story's crazy, dude.
What brought about that shift? Did you shoot like an adventure video? Was it the Yukon one? And you're like, this is what fucking gets me going?
No, I always wanted to do it, man.
Okay.
Since I found those Sam Kohler videos, I was like, I really want to do adventure filmmaking. At the time, I was literally working at McDonald's. If you've ever worked fast food, you know how fucking killer it is. I had a pivotal moment at that time.
Okay, tell me about your fucked up experience here.
You have to make sacrifices to make your art come to life. There's 4 stages to success. And I think in that time period, I tripled my income.
Do you have a rule book now to help with your mental health to make sure that you don't get back to that place again? All right, Tyler, welcome to the show, man. Oh,
come on, dude. I was going to shake your hand.
There we go, underneath there.
Dude, it's a visual hook.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, who is this guy?
I got a visual hook for you. I got one question for you right off the hop. Why aren't you turning the camera more on yourself? Because damn, you are beautiful.
Thank you, sir. I do internally. Like when I'm coaching my guys or doing training videos, I do internally, but maybe one day.
Maybe one day. I have seen some of your stuff. You're getting in front of the camera a little bit more, but I guess your passion is more behind the lens than in front of it.
It varies. So when I started, I was super obsessed with Sam Kohler videos. He's one of the GOATs in our industry. And the thing that drew me to him was not only was he really, really good behind the lens, but he had this personality too. He could do backflips and like juggle and all these. He had these crazy talents, handstands, calisthenics. He's borderline like a bodybuilder, but he was super skilled behind the camera. And for me, when I was younger, I was like, I don't just want to be one of those Hollywood fat guys that like just shoot stuff all the time. Like I kind of want to have a personality, kind of like if you think old time, like Clint Eastwood, he acts and directs his own movies, or someone even today like Dev Patel, he acts and directs in his own movies. And I've admired people that do that so much more because it's like you're explaining to your lead role, like what your vision is, and you're expecting them to make it come to life. But they're never going to fully expect, like even the top actors, they're never going to like know what your vision is. So if you just play the role, you solve that problem. It's a little bit more work, but I was always obsessed with that concept. So
I never thought of it that way. It's a really interesting way to look at that.
Yeah. So that's kind of the goal for me right now is I feel like I've developed my skills enough, and now I'm really working on like building a team, communicating with people I work with, and getting them behind the lens so I can, further create my visions, further make them come to life.
What are your visions then?
Well, currently I have 2 things I'm trying to do. So I'm building OE Media, which is my marketing agency, and it's gone quite past what we're doing locally, and we're operating in LA, we're operating in Vancouver, little over east in Toronto, Montreal area. And then, so that's like one side of it. And I've been building a team in all those different like countries and cities. But then the other side of it is I'm growing my YouTube right now too. So, but the videos I'm making are like insanely expensive and difficult to create. Like I don't see people making the videos that I'm making currently. So it's part of the reason why I'm going behind the lens and doing all these things, because I want to be the face of it all. Like it's one thing to have the piece of artwork, like Leonardo da Vinci has like The Last Supper, for example, but it's like people know Leonardo da Vinci. Or on the business side of things, it's like you have Tesla, his SpaceX, but then there's Elon Musk. People like Elon Musk, and that's why they're so faithful to the companies, the customers.
Yeah. So you want to be the Leonardo da Vinci of the guy behind the lens. You want to get out there and revolutionize and put out some amazing pieces.
Since I was a kid, yeah, idealistically.
Speaking of that, a kid, you're barely out of being a kid yourself, aren't you?
Do you know how old I am?
So I'm not going to lie. I did a lot of research before bringing you on. I watched every single one of your reels on Instagram. I looked at every single post. I kind of gave it away because I commented on, I think, your very first post. And I went through all the years. I watched all your YouTube as well. I think you're turning 22 this year?
Yeah, 21 right now.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah.
So 21, you're operating in multiple cities. You've got a team. I'm wondering, to go back to the beginning, your very first YouTube video was, I forget the guy's name, but you filmed it all on an iPhone at the Kamloops Bike Ranch. It really shows you what you can do with iPhones, though, even the older ones. But how did you get started?
Well, that video initially was, I was in school at the time. And you know how they have like those bring your kids to work day kind of things, or the mentorship days? Well, we had to message a company that we wanted to like work with if we were out in the work world and do like a day of work with them. So I went to Mastermind Studios, and part of the project was like preparing like a piece of work to show them like on your resume. So I went out with a buddy and I just filmed a bike video at the bike ranch. But I was always obsessed with cinematography and that kind of stuff. I just didn't know how to use the camera, so I just used my phone. And they're like, dang, you actually, like, we can see snippets of like natural talent in this, is what they told me.
So you sat down with Mastermind, you showed them this video, and then you got to, did you end up working with them then? Did they take you on like an internship, or you just kind of just kept pioneering your own way through it?
No, they didn't bring me on or anything. I didn't want to at the time. I was so busy with school. So I just kept going my own way and eventually started using my mom's DSLR camera. And then, I just kept plugging away at it.
So you would have been like what, like 16?
Like 14 or 15.
14.
Yeah, I knew what I wanted to do really, really young.
Okay, so you've been at it for quite some time then, all things considered that you're only 21.
Yeah. I knew what I wanted to do when I was like way younger. Even I did sports when I was younger, like did lots of parkour, like just like random things. Even when I remember like 3 years old, I used to love Transformers, and I do stop motion videos with them. Like I never knew video was like the thing I was passionate about.
Yeah.
But looking back at my childhood, there's little snippets where I look back and I'm like, oh, this was kind of in my DNA, because it was never about the thing I was interested in. It was about how could I record it or show it to people.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that till that like turning point when I was like 15 or 16 in high school. And I was like, oh, this is what I like.
So I'm wondering then, because I'm not going to age myself, I'm quite a bit older than you, but do you think you were pretty lucky to have, when you have grown up, that there was that technology easily accessible for you at like 3 years old with the Transformers, then to get into it right away, versus when I was a kid, there wasn't camcorders. There's barely even pictures of me because it was all just film cameras, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're lucky. Like in the time that I'm in, there's so much technology, and not only that, it's easy to pick up. Like anyone today with basic level knowledge can buy a camera and learn how to use it really well within like 1 month. There's so much resources on YouTube and things like that. I mean, even me when I was starting out, there's the technology, but there wasn't as much like tutorials on how to learn. So I feel like my skill set developed very slowly.
Okay. Question about that. So from working with Adrian, I'm getting more into the camera side of things and learning the technical side, and I love it as well. So I wish I could have gotten into it earlier, but I have Adrian to kind of mentor me with that. Did you have anyone when you were that age, or is this sort of point, shoot, and figure it out as you went?
There's 4 people that come to mind after different timelines. So the first person that comes to mind for me is my father. Now, my father he's not in the video production world at all. He actually owns a road maintenance company doing like ditches and stuff like that. But he's a god tier entrepreneur, like a freaking genius, a creator at heart, an innovator. And I won't go into too much detail because I don't know if he would appreciate it. But like he basically came from the bare bones nothing, like negative things. He grew up on a ranch, very, very rough, left high school, I think early. And then that first year out of high school, he made over 6 figures, and he just started hustling. Like he's a savage, but so freaking smart in business. And anyways, down the line, he ended up like doing this crazy patent and like kind of taking over his entire industry. So my dad has always been and will be my first mentor, more so on the grand scheme of things rather than like the nuanced details of the creative pursuit or anything like that. But he always beat originality into my brain. So I'd show him little projects I do and he'd be like, this is shit. I'm like, it sounds harsh. I didn't appreciate it at the time. It fucking sucked being a young kid and having your dad telling you something that you made sucked. But he wasn't afraid to do that to me. He wasn't afraid to make me go through the hard truths. And he's like, it's not sucks because you're bad or you're young. It's just not original. I've seen a copy of this somewhere. I know where it's coming from. I don't want to know where it's coming from. I want it to come from you. And that's kind of what I realized later on in life is that he was never trying to put me down. He was never trying to be rude or anything. He just wanted me to think internally and to like not be influenced by the outer world. And without that, like without those values that he instilled in me at a young age, dude, I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah, well, it sounds like if he created his own patent, that he was innovative in his own industry, and that he said he'd seen copies of these things before. So what he wanted you to do was to use your own creativity, not just see something on the internet and just copy that scene for scene, but really dig deep and find, what your passion was for that, and to make some real pieces of art, not just carbon copies of other things.
Dude, absolutely. And the thing with him is I feel like every father that has an empire dreams of their son taking it over. I tell you, he kind of like kind of tried to see if I like naturally liked his industry or things like that, but it never really clicked, and he never really influenced me to go down the same route as him. I don't even think he would have wanted that. I think he just wanted me to be me so naturally. And I appreciate that too. Like he really like made me look inwards.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I have 2 young sons, and my older one, he is an entrepreneur through and through. He's got a little donut business. He'll make $200. He's 12 years old on a Saturday selling donuts at the end of the driveway. And he says, I want to be in business, but I want to take over your business for you. And he's been saying this for probably since he was, I don't know, 7 or 8. But I've told him from the get-go, I'm like, you're welcome to work at one of my businesses, but the only way you'll ever take it over is if you rise up through the ranks. But I would rather you not work there. I would rather you go out on your own. You don't even have to go to university, but go see the world, see what you want to do, and create something for yourself. I'll help you get there. I'll teach you the skills. You want to know about finance. You want to know about staffing. You want to know about trying to get grants and funding and stuff. I will teach you all that, but I'm not just going to hand you the keys to the castle. I would rather you create your own thing than just be like, oh, my dad does well, I'm just going to go follow the same path as him, because you should find your own path. You shouldn't just, follow your, rest on the laurels of your parents.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like they're going to appreciate that so much more later on in life, not being a shadow figure of their father. And, even if they do go down the same route as you, you're kind of making them earn their way. So they're kind of developing their own reputation on that path too. So that's brilliant. That's lovely.
I really like that your dad, he told you it was shit, but it wasn't shit because it wasn't good, but because it wasn't original.
Yeah.
But I've always been of the mindset that failure is a good thing. You don't learn from success, you learn from failure. So you have this video, and if every day he's just like, yay, like this is perfect, this is awesome, you probably wouldn't have had that spark to push the envelope further in your filming.
No, and it's like I'll create something now later on, and I've developed the same mindset, the same critical mindset of my work, where it's like, how would my father see this, right? So I'll make something, I'll be proud of it for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, okay, time to fucking dissect this thing and find out how it's so bad. Like I made a video back in January, and I felt like at the time it was one of my best pieces of work, and it performed like trash. Like it's like one of my favorite projects I've done. And I was like, wait, I planned this. I was like, on paper, it should have performed really fucking well. But then like I studied the shit out of why it didn't perform. And now I'm pumped up to do the next one, because I'm like, oh boy, now I know what I'm doing even more. And then after that one's finished, it's going to be the same dissection process. Yeah. Like I watched them hundreds of times. I studied the thumbnail. I studied the title. I'm like, why didn't this work? And it's like, the views aren't everything to me. They're definitely not everything to me. I would have given up when I first started. Yeah. But that's just a byproduct of making your creations easier. If you get more views, you make more money, you're able to create more projects. So.
I got to ask, what video was that? Because I've watched all of them as long as it's still online.
So it's my Guatemala video, hiking an active volcano. And I thought the title fucking perfect. Like, who hikes an active volcano exploding in front of their face? Not many people. No. And then the thumbnail was sick. It was me with the volcano. The storytelling, like the cinematography wasn't the very best because I was so focused on, it's still really good. Like if I saw that a year ago at my skill level, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's really good. But me now, I'm like, okay, maybe it's like a 75% skill level in cinematography, but I was like storytelling. Like I nailed that part. but it's just getting that initial click that I fucked up on.
It's funny you say that because I've actually shown that video probably shortly after you released it to my kids, my wife, and my sister-in-law. And at the end of it, we watched it on the big screen. They all stood up and actually they clapped.
Damn.
They were like, that was amazing. Like, this guy's so good. But here you are, even though, at least with my family, it was very well received. I thought the storytelling was great, by the way. They all clapped, but then you're looking at it and you're like, fuck, that could have been this much better. Maybe if I spent an extra hour here. I mean, were you really excited to put it out and you overlooked some things, or were you just some things that you didn't think through?
One of my core beliefs with creating is that you need constraints in creativity. So you need to develop a rule book. Actually, people say, oh, you need an empty canvas to be creative. I believe the exact opposite. You need rules, because when you know the rules and you set the rules, now you can creatively play and bend between them. So you think about it as like an Olympic game and how people use like special kind of shoes and special kind of things. They're playing within the rules, but that forces them to be more creative because they're trying to achieve something via this rule book. So if you're running the 100-meter sprint, the rule is that you need to start on the ground like this, and you need to run to this line in the fastest time possible. You can't veer off. You can't push your There's rules, right? But it's how can you develop the technique to best hit those goals? Okay. So I believe the same thing with creativity. So I said, I have 30 days to edit this video. And then there's a bunch of other nuanced stuff that I was making myself follow, especially down the storytelling route. And I like stayed true to those rules that I had set for myself. Yeah, the color grade could have been better. Yeah, the storytelling could have been more retentive, but I needed it done in 30 days because I wasn't sitting on it. I know so many people, they sit on like a 90% completed project, and then they start tinkering with it, and then it becomes a mess. I've done that before too, and it becomes a mess. So deadlines are important. You need to make a deadline. You need to make a rule book, and then that way it kind of forces more creativity out of you.
I want to loop back to the rule book, but with the deadline, I really love that. That was actually my question was going to be was, do you give yourself a time constraint? But then you said you have guys continually dissect the video and they keep going back to it. And if they don't have that date to put it out there, they're just going to you're always going to find something wrong. You're always going to find something that you could have done better. And if you wait a year to put it out, but you spend all that money and all that time going to Guatemala to do this, you could be 5, 6, 7 projects ahead. And then you don't finish it and you're not stoked on it anymore because you did something way cooler already, right?
One of my favorite creators, I'm not going to say his name because I'm kind of going to critique his style, but he's brilliant. Like, he's absolutely fucking amazing, like top of the line, like miles ahead of everyone. So naturally talented, so multi-skilled, like he can do so many different things. And he's so incredible. But 4 years ago, he started creating a video. And it took him 4 years to create a 2-minute and 30-second video. Yes, is the video fucking amazing? Like, yeah, it's like the best thing you'll ever watch. But he was 22 at the time when he started. He's 26. If he would have stayed true to a rule book or a deadline, think about how many more things he could have done in that time period. Like, you don't have an infinite amount of time. You don't have your youth forever. People aren't going to relate to you when you're an old guy on the internet doing this stuff, right? Like, not you old. I mean, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You can't release a project every 4 years. And I know I referenced Da Vinci. He spent like 10 years on a painting, but in today's age, it's so freaking competitive. There's content being pushed everywhere. You need to absolutely create deadlines and stay faithful to them. Because it's like you are literally wasting your life as you're doing this, and other people are passing you. Whether you like it or not, even the creative industry is still an industry, and it's freaking competitive.
Yeah. I would wonder too if, say, you took, 2 years to put out that Guatemala video, and I know there's some wicked drone shots in there, but by the time you put it out, maybe the next drone's already out, and now it's in 16K or something, and now it looks like you're putting out like an old grainy one compared to the newer stuff that's coming out. You're going to get passed by technology, right?
Dude, if you look at old videos from 2016, which is when my industry, the travel filmmaking industry, started to pop off, you would look at that shit and be like, what the fuck? This is like Hollywood level. Now you look at it, it's like garbage. Everyone can do that now. It was just cool at the time because they were the only ones doing it. So shit moves fast, and you got to keep up.
Yeah. With your rule book, but is it? Would you say the time constraint is the the most die-by rule, or is there any other ones that really help you be creative and force the project forward?
Changes per project. Okay. So it depends on the project. So I'm going to Norway in literally a week's time. And same thing. I think of Norway. I think of blue. I think of big mountains. There's a certain type of music that I'm going to use in it. And it kind of needs to all fit that same theme. Alongside with that, there's certain shots I want to get to properly curate that story. And those are just rules. You can't, and like creativity needs rules because there are an infinite amount of tools you can use to make your vision come to life. And everyone thinks you need the next this thing, you need that thing, you need this, and that. But then it just becomes a mess. You need to narrow it the fuck down and stay faithful to it. So one of my favorite directors, Christopher Nolan, he only shoots on film. He only uses practical effects. So everything he doesn't use green screen or anything like that. Even the way he like watches the DOP like screen, everything is like on a specific device. He only plays by those rule books. And that's what makes him so freaking creative. So with this Norway video, like I said, I think in Norway it's blue. So the template has to be blue and dark and moody. There's a certain music that has to go with it. There's a theme in the video where I have to shoot it a certain way. And all these things come together, and that's what creates a unique piece of art, especially if you stay faithful to it and you create neat parallels throughout this video. Because something that people might see in the end where they're kind of like, oh, that's weird. But then it appears again at the end of the video. So if they see that thing at the beginning, but it appears at the end, now you've created a parallel because you stayed faithful to that rule. And that makes it so much more impressive. They're like, oh, he kind of anticipated that during this project, which is kind of like documentary.
So it's more than like, I'm sure a lot of people see a video and they're like, wow, that guy got a lot of great footage, and then he put it together. But your creative process starts weeks and months before you even get to a place like Norway then.
Oh, fuck, man. I've been listening to the same playlist for like 3 months straight on music I'm using in that video. Because it's like, even when I'm shooting, I have the song playing in the back of my head. I have the scene I want to make. And it's like you go in with the notion, like maybe you're not thinking of the song at the time or you're timing the clips to the beat, but that's in your subconscious now. So you're automatically, because you did the studying, because you did your due diligence, the automatic byproduct of that is that vision that I came up with maybe 3 to 6 months prior. I did the same thing in Guatemala. You ask Adrian, I was listening to that fucking song in the cabin, waiting for the sun to get low enough so you could see the lava. I was listening to that song, like I probably listened to it 60 times up there.
Yeah. So you're no different than when the statue of David was being carved. I think there was 3 artists that started carving and they quit before it was worked on and completed. But you're seeing basically a lump of stone, but you can see inside of that exactly what you want to bring out and put on to film.
That's vision. Not many people have that. A lot of people just show up, whether it's like documentary, commercial, whatever it is, they just show up and just go with the flow. Maybe they have a shot list they created a week before or whatever, but I fucking drive it into my brain. Like I drive it so deep that I don't even have to think about it anymore because I'm just going in with that lens. Like everyone sees the world in a certain way. Like even generally speaking, you have beliefs, you have notions of how the world is. And that's, like if you're a really positive human and someone does something negative, you can take a positive out of it and vice versa. I see the same thing with creativity. If I'm seeing it this way, I automatically default to doing it this way because I've thought about it so much. And then it becomes easy.
So you have your whole storyboard in your head. Do you have it written out as well on paper or some sort of application online? Or is it just all up here and you sort of run it back savantly?
No, I'm not insane like that. I know some people that can do that, but no, I'm probably the most particular person. I use this software called Notion, and I'm shot listing everything. I'm saying at this time of this song, this needs to happen, something like this. I want the mood board to look like this. I'm ordering equipment that fits the storyline in which I'm trying to tell. This time around, because I fucked this up on the Guatemala video, I'm thinking of the exact thumbnail and title and giving myself every reason as to why people are going to click on it instead of just coming up with it afterwards. So again, just going in with that notion.
And thumbnail and title is so huge these days. That's like the icebreaker. It's your first chance to grab someone's attention. And if it's shit, no one's going to click on it.
Yeah. And sometimes you get lucky and, you have a really good frame from a video and like you can just take it and like word something weirdly and then it'll work. Lots of people do that and it works. But I've told myself 1,000 times, I'd rather fail as many times as humanly possible so I can at least predict my success. I don't want to blow up by accident and, you know, like have it die off and then figure out how to get back there. That happens to so many people. I want to be able to predict it. I want to be able to say, oh no, this is why I went viral, and then be able to rinse and repeat the same thing.
You took the words right out of my mouth. If you know why that particular video took off, you can then replicate that again and again and create a formula from it.
Dude, not only that, I think my videos are like 80 to 90% of the way there. I'm just cleaning up the little nuances right now. But when my first video that, let's say, gets 1 million views blows up, think about how much bingeable content people are going to have to watch. They're going to have maybe like 10 videos by the time it happens. So I also hate it when I find a really good creator, they make one really good video, then I don't have anything to watch afterwards. So yeah, I'd actually prefer to take the hard route where my face hits the floor 1,000 times, but I can turn around and say, I got here because I did this, this, and that.
Yeah. I think you have a video, it's got 1.2 million views, I think. Is that it?
Yeah. I have a couple that are pretty high up there.
And that one was, I'm going back, my mind palace here. It is Hawaii, and is it 2024? Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're talking about why a video blows up. When that happened and it went parabolic, could you narrow it down at all why that particular one did so much better than other ones?
Yeah, think of Hawaii. Think of it. Think about a vacation to Hawaii, your dream vacation to Hawaii. You see a beautiful girl, like maybe your girlfriend, especially if you're a guy, or maybe even girls that are watching the video. They think of themselves. You think of the warm, scorching sun, sitting on the hot beach, right? And then the music that I chose with it. Like when I think of Hawaii, all those things start to add up.
Yeah.
And then it just clicks. It becomes relatable.
You just took me there, man.
Yeah. So if I say think of Hawaii, you're probably thinking of the same thing. So yeah, you have to be extremely relatable.
Yeah. That's cool that you brought up like, beautiful girl and like warmth, and I could like actually feel my body like kind of like warming up, like the warm sun was on me. So you're thinking of more than just about what the visual is. You're thinking about the emotions and how someone's going to feel when they're watching that video.
Yeah, that's why there's so many different mediums to filmmaking. Like sound design is a big one, color grading is a big one, and those are oftentimes things that people don't really progress that far in. And they just do the same plug and play thing. But I spend a shitload of time like picking music, like I said earlier, but working out, how do I want this to look? How do I want this to sound? How am I staging my actor? Like, how are they looking? Are they chill? Are they like serious? It all depends, but it all has to fit that rule book that you come up with.
That's so cool you brought up like sound design and stuff, because I remember the one video and there's the guy and he's in Hawaii and he's running shoeless through the jungle. And I didn't realize until either you or Adrian had told me that is it the rain or like the rustling of the leaves? I thought that was just picked up when you were filming, and you're like, no, like I added in that afterwards post-production. Like that was all planned. And that, for me, just getting into filming and stuff, that blew my fucking mind, that the level at which you went to prepare this video. And it's, what is that one on Instagram is like, what, a minute long, maybe even shorter. Like, but like the level that you went to put that production into place. And I was like, fuck, it's like, there's so much I don't know.
Yeah, like everyone thinks it's so easy to pump out short form content, but not in this industry, man, because it goes down to the wire, because you're competing with a bunch of other people that are really good. And at the end of the day, it's video, the industry I'm in. It's not like you're in fitness and creating a video and you can like kind of get by with like a simple to like mid-level video that has some production quality. It's like, no, I'm competing against the best producers on the planet. So how do I outcompete them? And those details matter more in this industry than any other industry. So even that guy, so we're in Indonesia, and I'm like, no, it would look sick if you were shirtless, barefooted, running through the jungle, and you end up at a waterfall, like kind of like Jungle Book. You know what I mean? So the actual audio and that whole sequence is him going, fuck, because he's standing on rocks, like running on rocks. I heard him so bad. There's no way I can use that audio. So yeah, that's sound design from the ground up.
I was actually wondering that because I saw him running through the jungle, and I've been to the jungle in Indonesia. I've been to the jungle in Hawaii, and I'm like, fuck, man, like my feet would be hurting. Like,
Yeah. It's a danger zone out there.
I love your videos, by the way. I think they're super cinematic. That's my favorite style of video to watch. And when I was going through all your original content, I could definitely start to see a shift in your skill level. But I was wondering, when do you feel that you took the biggest jump kind of early on in your career? Was it like a piece of equipment you got? I know when you first got your FPV, and there's the ones like, this is my first like crazy dive, and you go down. But what was the biggest kind of change for you that helped you level up the most?
So it was during COVID, and I was still in high school at the time. And I was just out creating, hiking with my buddies because that's all we could do. And at that time, I'd only learned things on YouTube. And at the time, there wasn't much on YouTube either. I think the best camera at the time was like an A7 III, which I had. And by a sheer of luck, I get a DM one day from this guy named Oerlemans. And this goes on to be my second biggest mentor ever. He's from the UK. He has over 100,000 followers. He DMs me. He says, "Hey, I'm in Kamloops." I'm like, why the fuck is this famous travel filmmaker in Kamloops during COVID? What? Long story short, he was seeing a girl here and he got stuck in Canada. But he needed help with a shoot. And he DMs me. He's like, "Hey, bro, you in Kamloops?" I say, "Yes." He's like, "I need help with this shoot. Can you please help me?" At the time, I was literally working at McDonald's. By the way, this story is crazy, dude. And he's like, "Oh, I need it done on this day. That's the only time I have." That day I had worked 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you've ever worked fast food, you know how fucking killer it is.
I did McDonald's for years, man.
Oh, man. So I was cooked. And I go to the shoot, and I feel like I completely butcher it. But then, 2 weeks later, he calls me again. He's like, "I need help with this." And then I get on to the next one. And then I start slowly impressing the guy until one day he literally calls me, and he's British. He's like, "Tyler, man, I want you to come to the Yukon with me. They just opened the doors back up, man. I've never been to the Yukon. I'm stuck here. Like, I didn't want to be here, but the Yukon looks sick, man." He starts talking like that. And I'm on the phone like, "Yeah, I can make that work." It's like, "Yeah, there's going to be models, helicopters, and all this stuff. Like, you can come with. I'll pay your travel, your expenses, all this stuff. Just film me like a little vlog or something. I like you, man. Like, let's do it." So I'm like, hang up the phone. I'm like, "Yeah, my breakthrough. It's finally happening. I've been dreaming of this moment. Like, I finally have an opportunity to like actually shoot some real shit." Anyways, we go to the Yukon, and it was like by far like the most pivotal experience of my life. Because at that time we had like made noise to the tourism board. They wanted to reshare our stuff. We had videos go viral. Joel and I had found a really good flow together. And the next thing was like, he's like, "I want to bring you to Toronto. I got clients out here. I got connects and all this stuff." So we go to Toronto, live there for like a month. And then I end up, I just got put in like the right position. I was being housed. I was being paid. And actually, before the Toronto thing, before he invited me, he tested me. He calls me one day. He's like, "How much money would it take right now for you to quit your job on the spot?" And me being like a dumbass 16-year-old kid, I was like, "Oh, $1,000. And he's like, "Money sent, man." So I walk in, I quit on the spot. I get back in the car. He drove me there, and he's like, "We're going to Toronto now. I'm paying you to go to Toronto." And so I go to Toronto. From then, I meet this guy named Valentin Sienen. And the guy I referenced at the beginning of the podcast, his name's Sam Calder. Mm-hmm. This is Sam's best friend. Like his Robin to his Batman kind of thing, right? So I meet Val. I hit it off really well with him. And then after Toronto, we traveled Banff for like 2 or 3 weeks. And the entire time he was just mentoring me. It was just free game, free insider game. And that was like the most pivotal moment of my life, because I had come home with all these skills that were just not findable in where we live. And it just took off from there.
Man, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got goosebumps right now from that story.
Sick.
That is epic. And I was actually wondering when I was looking through your early stuff, and I'm like, trying to do the math. I'm like, he's like 16 or 17 here. And there's the one shot, and it's just you in the front of the helicopter, and it's your feet. And I'm like, he's in a fucking helicopter in the Yukon. I'm like, where's this budget coming from? And then I got to it, was like, are his parents there? Like, how is he going to these places? And if his parents aren't there, like, does he have a chaperone? Is he just there by himself? And what did your parents think of all this? When, like, what did they say when you're like, hey, this British guy wants to take me to the Yukon? Like,
dude, and this guy, like, he's from LA. He's an enormous ego. I love him, but he's got the biggest ego on the planet. Like, when he met my parents to go propose the Yukon idea after we had finalized it, walks in the house with a Bass Pro Shop hat on, an oversized beige tee, Yeezys that are all dirty. He doesn't even take them off. Walks in her home, and he's like, "What's up, Mark? My dad. What's up, Linda? I'm taking your son." And not only that, he's like 5 hours late to show up. It's like 9 p.m. and they're just like,
who is this guy? Yeah. So with meeting Joel, did he see like a particular piece of content? Like, did he tell you why he chose you to reach out to?
Oh, yeah. I was just copying the shit out of everyone that was on the internet. And he's like, yeah, because he wanted to compete with those guys. So he wanted someone that could come in at that level and then like kind of refine. So he definitely took my skill set and built it because he saw the potential there. He saw that our mindsets were in the same place. I didn't have an outdated production mindset. I always was thinking and looking ahead.
Yeah. So he wanted someone else who was innovative and being creative in the industry as well.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah. Wow. That is, and you said 16 when this first started happening. What an opportunity for a young man at that point who at 3 years old was doing the stop motion stuff. And then all of a sudden this whole dream comes to fruition just in one moment.
Yeah. And the crazy thing too, I grew up really fast. And this is kind of one of those dualities in life where you're like, you know, I wish I could have lived out my childhood a little bit more and enjoyed things and been a little bit of a degen. But on the other hand, I wouldn't trade it for anything because as much as he was an awesome guy, I was also like his caregiver. He's this irresponsible, rich guy that like had excelled in life and he was super irresponsible. So there's one particular moment in the Yukon where we wanted to get glacier footage. And there was this one particular hike where you had to hike about 10 kilometers and it took you to a glacier. And there wasn't much of a guide on the hike or anything like that on how to get to this glacier, just like glacier access. So we show up, I'm with him, the model, and we start hiking. And apparently it's only supposed to be a day hike and it's flat, and which it was. But the hike was very, very deceiving. So we'd hike for like 2 kilometers, get into the mountains, and then like another 3 or 4 kilometers would go by. And then we'd see the glacier. And before the glacier, there was all these rolling green hills. So every step we took, we thought we were getting super close. But it actually started getting further away as we kept going. So we're like, wow, this is kind of a mission to get to. It was very, very deceiving. Never seen terrain like this before in my life. Anyways, we eventually get to where the hike ends. And it's this enormous crevasse, canyon, ravine thing with a river flowing in it, like probably 300 feet below this cliff. And the glacier's on the other side. So we're like, fuck, we can't even get to the glacier. Like, this sucks. And I just see him standing there. He's like getting all angry and stuff. Like, oh man, like this is such a waste of my time. I gotta get to that glacier. Meanwhile, he's wearing a beige Saint Laurent hoodie, probably worth $2,000, ripped black jeans and Yeezys and like just some bag with like maybe a granola bar or two and his drone hanging off the back. And so anyways, I'm like, well, we can't get there. We literally need rappelling gear to get down this cliff. And he's like, yeah, man, he's all miserable. He's like, anyways, I'm just going to go take in the view. Like, you guys can just go like shoot some stuff back there, like whatever. So anyways, I go with the model. We shoot some stuff. After about an hour of getting all of our shots, we're like, oh, let's go like link up with Joel. He hasn't come to see us. We get to where I left him, where he was enjoying the view. He's nowhere to be seen. And we're like, is he like around here? And it was like pretty open. There's no trees. It was just like huge valley with 2 mountains on the other side, the ravine, and then the glacier further ahead. So we're looking around. We're like 360-degree view, no Joel, no inReach, no spot. We thought this guy was responsible, but turns out this is kind of a spoil to the story, but it's not really. He had gone down the cliff, crossed a river, and hiked up to the glacier.
Jeez.
Meanwhile, we're doing a full search party for this guy in the middle of remote Yukon, and we can't find him. And it's starting to get dark out. So the model and I were like, well, we need to think of something quick. Like I have the car keys, but it's 10 kilometers back that way. We're going to be hiking through grizzly bear country at nighttime. Let's just scope out the area one last time. And then I remember in the corner of my eye, I see a tent. And I'm like, well, chances are they have a spot or an in reach because they're Yukoners. They're out here. Perhaps like we're just thinking any responsible person camping would have this. So we hike about 1 kilometer to their tent. I'm like, hey. And then they didn't answer for like 5 minutes. Who knows what they were doing, but
I can only imagine.
Anyways, they get out of the tent and they're like, hello? Like it's not a popular area. It's not like Bali where there's 1,000 people there. It's like, we're probably like the first 2 people there this year because of COVID. And we're like, yeah, our friend went missing. We don't know where he is. We think he's at the glacier. And we say that to them. They're like, oh my God, like what an idiot. So we start doing a search party with them. And again, nowhere to be seen. And like the InReach spot thing was like our last resort. Like we don't want to do that unless you absolutely have to.
And for everyone that doesn't know, that's like a satellite radio.
Sat phone,
right?
yeah. And so we do the search party. We get to the point where like we can't find this guy. He's down there. And it's like if he were to come back up, he would be up by now. It's literally dark out. So we end up spending the night in their tent with us. They fed us. It was actually kind of peaceful. But I literally thought to myself the whole time, Joel is gonna die. Like he's either dead or he's going to die because he's going to freeze down there. And then the model we were with, she was obviously crying and all this stuff. Even the people we were with, they were worried too because we had just brought them into something. So I had to grow up really fast. Anyways, I go to sleep that night. We'd called the InReach. They're like, it's too foggy. We can't get in. Like it's supposed to clear up by morning. So we'll come find you guys in the morning. So go to sleep that night. I get woken up to the tent's blowing and everything. I get out. They land the helicopter and they're like, yeah, just give us like another like rundown of what happened, where you see him, where you think he was doing, like what were his intentions. We give them the whole spiel. They go down and search for him. And then they like swing back after an hour and they pick us up and they're like, yeah, we found your guy. We're just going to take you guys back to the car first. So they drop us off and then they go and then they helicopter. Hour later, they pick up Joel. He gets out of the helicopter. He's wearing this red SAR hoodie, search and rescue hoodie or jacket or whatever it was. Gets out of the helicopter. We're like in shock. We're like, our friend could have fucking died. Like we're worried. We're happy to see him. We're like trying to give him a hug. He gets out of the helicopter. I shit you not, doesn't even make contact with us because he's so like such a social media guy. Takes out his phone. He's like, shout out these guys. Like they just dropped down in a helicopter like James Bond's here. That sucked, man. Like they fed me and everything. Shout out SAR. Doesn't even say hi to us. And then long story short, he spent the night at the like just below the glacier. He had to like climb up a waterfall cliff. He's all cut up in his Saint Laurent hoodie, in ripped black jeans, no food. He's nothing. And when they picked him up, they even said that like, I don't know, 1 kilometer away, there's like a grizzly bear family. Jeez. Like 1 kilometer away from where he was. So like it was really threading the needle. He was just chill about it. So I had to grow up really fast. I was almost like this guy's assistant or caregiver. So I grew up really fast during some of those like situations and like, my parents weren't happy at the time. They were even skeptical. But again, it was one of those things where I kind of proved myself and my maturity at a young age. And in that sense, they had a lot more faith in me.
I got to ask though, did he get the shot?
No, this is the thing too. He crashed the drone on the glacier and then he crawled up the glacier that you can quite literally fall through and tried to retrieve the drone and never did.
Oh man, all that work. I mean, drones are likely to crash. So,
yeah.
But I want to go back to, you were talking about growing up fast and being mature. We met a couple times and chatted before the podcast here, and I had asked Adrian one day, because I thought you were like 30, but just looked really young, just because of the way you carried yourself.
Really?
Oh, for sure, man. Like, but that's the maturity of being in that situation that where he literally, probably should have died if there's a family of grizzlies because Mama Bear is going to eat you for lunch. Mm-hmm. That is wild, man.
Yeah, so it was one of those situations where it was like really cool, but you're with an irresponsible person. And he doesn't mind me saying this. But we laugh about it now. But yeah, I had to grow up really fast.
I would say probably after that experience, you iron sharpens iron, and your parents were probably, even though they were upset, they knew that when shit hits the fan, that even though you said you're 16 or 17 at this time, 16, they're like, Tyler can fucking handle himself.
Yeah. It was kind of like that, which was cool. It was impressive but frightening to them at the same time. But like you hear the story and they're like, wow, you actually critically, like you were thinking critically through this entire situation. And you did the right things. You did everything you could. You didn't sit there and cry or like hike back to the van. You actually like, you know, you even risked staying out there the night yourself to try and help this guy. And you did it critically. So, and you took care of the model that was there too, which she was also young, like 19 or 20. So
she was crying too. So,
yeah.
So you, after that, you went to Toronto. Was that an easier sell to your parents or a harder sell?
Easier, because you're in the city and, you know, like there was actually shoots lined up and all these things. So, yeah, and I think that was like a rude awakening for Joel too. Like he definitely like matured a little bit after that as well. So realized that he had a kid traveling with him.
Yeah. In your Toronto videos, is he did he have like longer hair?
That's Val.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So your parents trust you. They're okay. Tyler's mature. He critically thought. When you put out the video and you are like 2,000 feet in the air climbing a crane, did they still think you could think critically?
Crane thing was cool. They didn't actually give a shit about that.
Oh, really?
No, they didn't care.
I saw that and I was like, there's no safety harnesses up there.
No, this is savage shit. Finding new perspectives, man. This is cool. Everyone, like, I think I had a friend that was really into rooftoping and whatever. It's not bad. It's just, it looks scary.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, because that's a crane on top of a roof on top, top of a
skyscraper. I wouldn't do it again. Just for the legality part of it. And like I'm obviously carrying a brand right now, but I was a kid. I was like, oh, I can get away with it. Like, would not do it again or recommend it. But it was really cool. But again, it was just like one of those things. I saw like some idols on the internet that I was watching at the time doing it. And I was like, I thought it was okay. But now, a little bit more mature now. Wouldn't do it again. Wouldn't promote that because it is pretty I mean, it's spectacular. It's really cool. It's got an adrenaline rush, but it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know when I was in Bali with Adrian and Justin, there were some shots that I wanted to get. We were at this one waterfall and it's crashing around. You hiked like an hour through the fucking jungle. And funny thing, we learned after the fact, our guide's like, yeah, there's anacondas here. We're like really? In the water and everything. And I'm glad we knew afterwards and not before because one of them might have bailed. But we're on this ledge near this waterfall and I see this rickety fucking goat path like right up next to the waterfall. And it had been pissing down rain earlier. So that waterfall's just raging. And I'm like, I can get up there. And Adrian's like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know how well the shot will be because the water was misting the lens too much. He's like, I don't think the risk to reward is there. So I backed down from that. And I mean, I'm sure you saw my video where I fucking bail trying to jump into the pool over that.
Yeah, you think I'm crazy, dude? Look at the stuff you're doing, cutting yourself up on the ocean floor, man.
Oh, it's nothing I wouldn't do back home. I kind of have a fuck it mentality. Like you said, like you were only here once. And
exactly.
I like to live a little bit fast. But with you, the risk to reward going up that crane was a little different. You didn't have a brand to carry. Have there been any times when you're like, I want to get that shot, and then the risk was so fucking high, but you still did it? And then did it turn out or did it not turn out? Or like, what's the story there?
I never fucking shy away from that shit, man. Like there's been hikes in Hawaii where it's like, it literally says on a hike, trespassing, can't do this.
Stairway to heaven.
Yeah, well, there's things like that and other hikes there that like Stairway to Heaven isn't that dangerous, but there's one in particular where they listed all of the deaths from this one hike below the hike. Like, yeah, if you go here, there's, like 6 people have died in like the past couple of years doing this.
Crazy.
But it's just like the things you do, especially as an adventure filmmaker, to find a new perspective or to show something from a new point of view is crazy. And it's like, I've never ever shied away from it, nor is my friend group. We're all like that. And it brings another level to things because it's like, first of all, if we do this, no one's going to be up there obstructing our shot. Mm-hmm. No one has these shots. And it's like, yeah, it's just like a win-win if you're comfortable doing dangerous stuff, which I've always been. I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, so
I love the danger,
I don't care,
man. I'm right up there with you.
Never, ever regretted it once.
Yeah. With the adventure filmmaking, I remember looking through your past videos and there was definitely a shift. Mm-hmm. What brought about that shift? Did you shoot like an adventure video? Was it the Yukon one? And you're like, this is what fucking gets me going? Or
No, I always wanted to do it, man.
Okay.
Since I found those Sam Kohler videos, I was like, I really want to do adventure filmmaking, adventure travel. It's my thing. It's just the opportunities didn't always align there. So obviously I didn't like, after I'd quit McDonald's. Well, this is kind of how it worked, because you have to make sacrifices to make your art come to life, right? So after I did that whole thing with Joel and I was working with him, he eventually had to go back to LA and start living his life down there and start building down there. You can't travel forever. So I was kind of left alone and abandoned. And I had a pivotal moment at that time. I was like, I can either get a normal job and like kind of live normal life and just disregard everything I did, or I can take all of the footage that I got over those 6 months of travel, compile the craziest fucking video ever, learn how to fly FPV drones, which at the time no one knew how to do because you had to build them and tune them and all the shit. You couldn't just plug it in and fly it. So I made that video, compiled everything from that summer, and then I learned how to fly FPV, and I just started going crazy as like a 17-year-old kid at the time. I found like some car guys in town, and I was filming car videos. In particular, guys that have been on a Netflix show before. Yeah. And there was this one location they had struggles filming at because it was a no drone zone. But because I built my drone, there's no restrictions.
No geolocks.
No geolocks, exactly. And I ended up shooting just like a little sizzle reel with them up at this road where they were racing on, where there was a geolock. I got drone footage a week after the producer of the Netflix show had just filmed with them at that same spot. And he saw the video and he's like, how the fuck did that kid get that drone up there? Why do the shots look like this? Why are they so fast and cool and whatever? And I had I got really lucky. I impressed the producer of this Netflix show, and then he brought me on. And then I got really, really into automotive, and that carried me for about a year. I wasn't passionate about cars or anything, but it was just another stepping stone. And then, like the car thing really took off. But it's just like I was just eating what I could kill, man. Eating what I could kill at the time.
What an opportunity to work with a Netflix producer. And I know Connor pretty well back from when I used to bartend, and I met his dad before, and they seem like all great guys. What was like working with them in a, because that would have been like a level up for production for you in that whole kind of industry. What was that like?
Well, you're no longer doing the indie stuff where you're with like-minded people. You're with people in the union that do this as a day job and they kind of hate it. So I was kind of an outcast. And there's kind of mixed feelings about having some young guy on set. And I definitely pissed them off a couple of times because there was some guys that I kind of outshined really early on. And then there's some guys that were like, oh no, like let's help this kid. Like he's got talent. Let's really help him and boost him forward. So yeah, it was kind of like a weird mix where I didn't feel like I was in the right place, but I also did at the same time because I knew it was the path that was given to me. So
were you still in high school when you were working on that?
Yeah, I almost dropped out.
I was gonna say, how did you juggle having to work? I mean, because I'm sure they're like, hey, the shoot's at this time on this day, and you got to drive all the way out to Tappan from Kamloops.
Well, it wasn't even just the car stuff. Like I was filming with like other filmmakers as like a B cam, but it was predominantly the car stuff. But I think my last 2 years in high school, I had a 50% show up rate, which was like, I literally orchestrated it perfectly. Because if you show up less than 50% of the time, you fail by default. Course, yeah. But I also did really good in school because I was so used to working and editing on my computer that like the homework was nothing. And then this is where the business stuff comes into mind. I would negotiate with my teachers. Hey, I just did this project on like ecological restoration for indigenous peoples. This fits perfectly in line with what we're doing in history right now. Can I use this as a substitute? So I was getting paid for stuff and getting an A because the video turned out sick.
Entrepreneur through and through, businessman.
Some of the teachers didn't like it, but
I'm sure you're probably making more than they were at that point. So
yeah, I didn't really like advertise that. I don't even like saying that now, but like I have some close friends and they would figure things out, and then word would get out, and then it would get under people's skin, definitely. But I just tried to shut up and just straight face my way through high school.
I love the expression, you're never going to meet a hater that's doing better than you. So,
True.
But I mean, if you have that talent, you shouldn't be ashamed of what you're able to make from it.
Yeah, true.
People are going to pay for it. And if you have that service and you're that fucking good, then go do it, man.
Yeah. And it's like, it's like a lot of these people that were hiring me at the time and mentoring me, they're like, oh, if we invest in this kid now, he's going to remember us. And if he turns out to be something, he might help us in the future. And that, you know, I don't know if that's happened back. I don't know if I've been able to fulfill all the good things people have done for me, but you're sure, like, I can bet on it. And I know for 100%, if I'm ever in the position to help the people that help me, they're my first choice. Because, you know, a lot of people like Joe Doyle says this really well. There's 4 stages to success. The first stage is you get into something, everyone thinks you're cringe, everyone thinks they're hating on you. And then, or no, the first stage is like everyone supports you because you're the underdog. You're less than them. But then you start to kind of surpass them. They see you as cringe, see you as an outcast, a loser. You know, you haven't made it yet, but you're kind of underway. The third stage is you've made it. And then the fourth stage is people start asking to work for you. And they say they've known you this whole time. So I believe that dimming your light to make someone feel better just creates less light in the world. So I don't shy away from it as long as you're being authentic.
Yeah. You ever seen any of Alex Hormozy?
Of course.
So yeah, he has that classic tale. He's sleeping in his gym, doesn't have very many members, and everyone's like, "Oh, you got this, Alex. We love you. We love you." And then he figures out how to run a gym perfectly. He expands from there, and then he's running multiple gyms, so he can't show up to his original one. And when he does show up there, everyone's like, "Oh, you're too good for us now. Like you're not showing up." It's like, motherfucker, I'm living my life. I'm living my dream. I'm doing my passion. And now you used to support me, and now you're shooting me down because I'm doing what I set out to do. Like, fuck you.
People hate it.
No, yeah, I hate it.
But those are there's this cool diagram I saw on Twitter, and it's this group of people, this crowd of people, and then there's a guy in the center and a huge gap in between them. And it's everyone in the crowd saying, "You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong," because you're an outcast. And he's like, "No, actually, you guys are all wrong because you're all in the same spot." And I think that's true. It's like, you know, if you really want to become something, at least what I've learned on my journey is like, you have to be willing to be criticized. You have to be willing to say things that people aren't going to like and do things that people aren't going to like. And as long as you're being true to yourself, you're being authentic and you're being a good person, you know, like I try to do a lot of good things and I get criticized for it. I know people that try to do a lot of good things, they get criticized for it. You see Mr. Beast doing philanthropy stuff, he gets criticized for it. And it's like, no, this herd of people that are all in the same spot are the ones doing something wrong, because otherwise they would be where he is. It's like, yeah, I might not be able to do exactly what I'm doing perfectly and help everyone, but at least I'm helping people. So
I think you said you would love to help out the people that have helped you, but you might not ever have that chance. So I know with myself, and I've had mentors along the way, where I kind of see something happening for you one day you're going to be, 30, 35, and you're in Amsterdam or something, and you happen to follow a young kid there, and you're like, fuck, I need another angle for this at the same time. And you message that kid, like that kid is you will become your own Joel and he's your Tyler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the best way to give back.
Give it back, man. If someone gives something to you, try to give it away. It's like, we're not owners of anything. We just pass things around. So
yeah, we're only here for like 80 to 100 years, and do your best while you're here and try to make the world a better place and help other people out at the same time.
Yeah. And a lot of people try to gatekeep knowledge, business advice, things. And it's just like, I don't really believe in that, because the knowledge is everywhere. Like, think about how many books there are in the world. Like, you can learn freaking anything, dude. Like, I could become an expert on diapers if I wanted to. It's just like, are you going to apply that knowledge? Like, the applied knowledge is where the power is. So I'll tell anyone anything. I don't care, because do I think you're going to outcompete me? No. If you do, great. Now I have a one up with you because I just helped you. You know what I mean? So I think, like, if you have something that's valuable, you should share it, because it's like, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. So, and if people do take what you give them, it's a win-win, because they'll probably hand something back to you.
I think with that too, people see your success and how amazing your videos are. And these people, if they put the time in and they put the effort, maybe they don't have the natural talent, but hard work's going to outwork talent on any day of the week. They could get to that point, but it's like everyone wants the view, but no one wants to climb. Like when you got that shot up the crane, no one actually wants to climb up there. You hike these places in Hawaii that you're not supposed to go, that are super sketchy. People want the shot up there, but they're not willing to put the work in. It's like when you see like Michael Phelps, when he first went to the Olympics and he fucking broke all those records. You see him standing on the podium. You don't see that he's been in the pool since he was like 5 years old. You don't see that he's put in 15 years to stand on the podium for 2 fucking minutes. All they see is that one moment of success, and they want that, but they don't want to put any of the work in to get there.
Yeah, and that's a crazy mindset, man. My favorite book in the world is Relentless by Tim Grover. And Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's coach and all these business people's coach.
And he's Kobe's coach too. Yeah.
Kobe's. Yeah. And although they're not in my industry, I think you can take extreme levels of wisdom. And he says the same thing. It's just like these people were willing to go so fucking deep and dark. And they sacrifice so much shit along the way. And like people don't even realize it. Like it's really easy to look at my Instagram page and be like, oh, his parents paid for it. His dad's like, his dad does really well and all this stuff. And it's like, no, they're sitting at home. They're enjoying themselves, worrying about me. Like, hell no, they weren't doing that. Like they definitely gave me the right principles and mindset. But like you can they can give you the right principles and mindset. But again, do you apply it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you willing to sacrifice that Netflix time watching TV? Are you willing to sacrifice time with your family to pursue your craft? Like we started filming this at like 8:30. I got up at 5 this morning. I went to the gym. I went home. I made food for the day for my wife. I then went to work from 7:30 until 8 p.m. And now we're here filming this because I want this to get better. I want to get better at it. I want to be around people like yourself who have that same mindset that it's like, it's do or fucking die. You know what you want to do. And you see, it's like a chess master, grand chess master. He sees 23 moves ahead. You know where you want to get with your filmmaking. And you've worked backwards. You're like, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to critique this fucking video. I want to go to Norway. I've been thinking about Norway for 6 months, right? You have everything fucking set, ready to go for that. People aren't willing to put that time in.
No, man. And it's like, I've had this happen before where I was so uber fucking prepared for like a project or something. And then it's like everything out of my control that can go wrong, like weather, logistics, like breakdowns or like technical issues goes wrong. And it's like, even though everything went wrong, it's still good because everything else was dialed in. Maybe it's not 100%, it's 80%, but that's passable.
Yeah.
Whereas like, if you don't do your due diligence, those things would have taken you out.
Yeah. An ounce preparation is worth a pound of cure.
It's like that famous Michael Jordan game where he had the flu. He is like, even with the fucking flu, puking his guts out, like just smoked everyone. And actually, it got into his ego a little bit. He's like, no, I want to show everyone that I can smoke them disadvantaged. Or when Dennis Rodman got suspended or whatever, it's like, no, he's like, I'm going to show this guy we don't fucking need him. As much as he's a great player, I'll show everyone we don't need him because I'm the fucking star of the show.
Yeah, that flu game, he put up like, what, 40 plus points or something crazy?
Yeah. So I'm not even into basketball or anything, but I'm obsessed with the term cleaner, which Tim Grover talks about a lot. And it's only applicable at the top level. So he has a, what's it called? He has a cleaner, a closer, and a cooler. A cooler is just someone that made it to the NBA. You don't know their name, but they're still in the NBA. They're still an overachiever. They still made it. They still make millions of dollars a year, but you don't know their name. They're not a star player. There's the closer, someone like Dennis Rodman, someone memorable, someone very good, but he's not the star of the show. And then there's the cleaner, the Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Sam Kohler, Simone Biles, Michael Phillips. These are the people that the light never shuts off. They never have a bad day. They're always in that flow state. They don't notice the crowd. They don't notice anything around them. They're so uber fucking dialed all the time. And my goal in life is to be a cleaner in every aspect.
That's deep, man. I like that. I can see you're dedicated to your craft. I too love Relentless. I listened to an audiobook.
Oh, sick.
I probably listened to it like 4 or 5 times. Yeah. And what an insight it is to see for Michael Jordan to get to the peak of his craft. It wasn't just natural talent. It was hard fucking work. And that hard work is the reason why he was able to play well into his 30s when other guys are retiring early 30s. Like he was banged up, he was injured, but he would finish the playoffs. They would win the championship, and the next day he's not out partying. He's back in the fucking gym getting ready for next season.
He didn't give a fuck about the lights, the crowd, the brand shoots or anything. He was just so addicted with the pursuit and the process. And it's like, I'd like to think in some sense I have the same mindset. And I think I honestly think it's part of it's like super genetic and just internal. Like when I go to do something, half the time I'm not thinking about this is where I get burnt out, Caleb. It's like a lot of people, they're like, oh, this paycheck's coming if I do this. Like it's got me all fired up. It's like, no, sometimes I have a really high paying gig coming up and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Or like sometimes it's not paying at all. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm just like addicted and so into my craft, and I just want to make it as sick as possible all of the fucking time, no matter what. I go to bed thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it. I'm at the gym. I'm thinking about it. I'm doing this. I'm thinking about it. Like it just lives there. It's like a flame. Maybe it's not a high burning flame all the times, but it's always there, man. It never goes out.
Yeah, I was listening to a financial podcast the other day, and long story short, but people were talking to this financial expert, and like, I need this much real estate. I need this many stocks that pay dividends. I need this passive income. And he's like, you don't need fucking passive income. Sure, that's great. What you need is passionate income. You have to love what you're doing so much that when you wake up at 4 a.m. and you've got 3 hours of sleep, but you got to shoot at 5 because you want to chase that fucking sunrise, you have boundless fucking energy to get up that fucking mountain before the sun comes up so you can get that shot. And if you don't get that shot, you're doing it again the next day because you love what you're doing.
It's contagious too. So there's plenty of times where I've been on a corporate shoot where it's like 9 to 5 office people. They're very routine orientated and whatnot. And we'd be on a call, maybe a week or two prior. And I'm like, no, we got to do it sunrise. And they're like, oh, like what time's that? And I'm like, oh, it's 4 a.m. And they're like, no, we can't do that. Like, but then I start explaining the why. I start explaining like how much better it's going to look, and just authentically, just because that's what I want to do. I'm not getting paid more to wake up and fuck up my sleep. It's like, no, I want to do this. And then I start talking about it, and I'm like, oh, the light's going to hit this. You're going to look like this, because of this, like the light is softer, it's going to make you look so much better and all this. They start to get fired up too. We all show up on shoot day. Everyone's fired up. Everything's clicking. And then it's so much better. And then it becomes memorable. Like one of my biggest philosophies in business or anything is like, if you're somewhere where someone's paying you or you're doing a service for someone, give them no fucking reason not to talk about you when they get home, whether it's to their family, their friends. Like I try to give every person a reason to talk about me, because as much as I'm a service provider, a filmmaker, it's an experience too. It's like I want to make working with me like going to the fucking movie, like the best movie you've ever watched in your life, or like doing your favorite activity. I want you to get like fired up. I don't want it to feel like work. And like that energy is just contagious and it wears off on people. And like people always ask for referrals. No, don't ask. Give them no other reason but to refer you.
Yeah. I got a little bit of taste of that. I done in my short time kind of doing videos and stuff with Adrian and Justin, a small taste of that. But when we were in Bali, Adrian was like cracking the whip, and he's like, okay, every day, like up this time, let's go. And the first, like we had like 35 hours to get there and I'm bagged, but we were up crack of dawn, first day, getting the sunrise. And it was like day 2 or 3. And I was like starting to feel that energy. And then I was like, first one up, I'm like, let's fucking go. And we were sunrise to like well past sunset, but like we'd leave before sunrise, start to get the shots, travel somewhere else, 5 hours at one location, somewhere else, and then we get back at like 8 o'clock at night, and we're just bagged and eat some pizza, off to bed, and then right back at it. And I fucking loved every minute of it, man.
Paychecks don't create that shit.
No.
Hype doesn't create that stuff. The crowd doesn't create that stuff. That is all internal. Like I don't know where the heck it comes from, man, but you can like energy is just so internal and it's so contagious if you have it. So like utilize it if you have it. Like that don't dim your life for anyone.
No. Yeah. In the past, I've had shit jobs. I used to, work on the drills for diamond drill, and I've been to the Yukon, drilled up there. Fucking hated every minute of it. Had a young family, had bills to pay. And every moment I was up there, I was like, I gotta fucking find something else. Like I hated myself. It's been probably like 10 years since I drilled, but for probably like 8 years after that, so it's only been probably 2 or 3 years since it stopped, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would think I was on the drill, and I would get out of bed to try, because what the drill is basically a giant sea can, and I would try to leave the drill, and I'd end up like in the closet before I realized what was going on, because I had so much trauma from my experience there.
That's paranormal, dude.
It was, fuck. I would like, my girlfriend at the time, she's my fiance now, but she'd wake up and she'd be like, wake up. And I'd be like, no idea where I was. Sometimes I'd wander all the way down to the end of the hallway. I'd have experiences where it got so bad, because sometimes like bugs would come into the sea can, that I would think there was bugs falling from the ceiling.
Oh man.
So I'd wake up, I'd grab the blankets, I'd throw them over top of her, and I would run down the hallway, turning all the lights on, because I was so terrified from my experience doing this shit fucking job for way too long.
Jeez, dude, that's traumatic. Like, I don't have much of that. Like, I don't know how much I can relate to it, but I've heard similar stories from my dad. Like, he grew up on a ranch, basically like child labor kind of stuff. And he even like even to this day, he still gets things like that. Like, dude, I'm blessed to have never experienced that. But like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It really helped me shape to know what I didn't want to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew what I didn't want to do. And it's crazy now because I'm pretty mellow. I like to think I handle stress well, but what I really do is I just push it down and just kind of ignore it. I think it's not there. And then this will pop up, I don't know, like once a year now where it starts to happen. And then my fiance Janelle's like, "You're stressed." I'm like, "Oh, fuck. I am stressed. This only happens when this is happening now." So
I went through a time period like that recently. It was fucked. It was terrible. It was like the worst time period of my life.
do you want to chat about that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, because this is really recent. This is like, it's not the most fucked up thing that's ever happened to me, but it's pretty fucked up.
Is this your you should quit moment when you thought
No.
No?
No.
No? We'll get into that after?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about your fucked up experience here.
So at the time, it was about last year in August. I just gone through some like pretty crazy personal issues, especially identity and all these things. Like, I feel like everyone kind of goes through a crisis a few times in their life. I think it's normal. It's just you're shedding off the old skin. And I just started to go crazy with work. I kind of did the same thing as you. I just suppressed the shit out of everything that I was actually feeling. And I think in that time period, I tripled my income within like the span of like three like months. I was down in like LA. I was down in San Francisco, like doing all this stuff, meeting all these people, like just going fucking ham, dude. I get home, I get my dream shoot with DJI, which kind of kept me up for like a month straight, like having to deal with reschedules, changing my crew 1,000 times. It was one of those shoots that everything could have went wrong, but we still pulled through because the due diligence. Yeah. And it was super important because they're my dream client. Anyways, after that, I developed severe fucking insomnia. I didn't know that shit existed like that, like before, but severe fucking insomnia. When I say I didn't sleep for a week, I didn't sleep like a second for 5 days, and I'd catch a break for like 6 hours one night
because you're so exhausted.
And then it was back again. But it's just I could not shut my fucking brain off. The combination between growing so much with work, handling a team, handling so much more workload, bigger contracts, bigger stakes, dealing with all these personal issues I was having at the time. There was no fucking break. My home didn't feel like home. My bed didn't feel like my bed. Nothing felt like it was mine. And I just, like, I think it was in December. I just had a breaking point, man. Like, just a fucking breaking point. And it's like, you know, a lot of guys get called a pussy for being vulnerable and like, etc. But I think you're only a pussy for being vulnerable if you suppress it. If you own it with confidence, like a fucking man, and you're like, yo, like, I'm feeling this way, I need to do something about it instead of suppressing it. That's what makes you a savage. And then I had like the whole month of December, I really had to work on myself. I still feel effects from it even today, like a year later. But I really, really had to work on myself and figure out a way to do it sustainably, figure out a way to find rest, figure out a way to do all these things, figure out a way to figure out my personal life and all these different things. And it took real hard spiritual growth. Like, I'm not super religious by any means, but during the month of December, when there's only like 6 months of light during the winter, I would wake up, I'd go for a walk, I'd walk to the church, and then I'd walk back with a cup of tea. I'd edit all day, do work, manage the team. And then when the sun went down, I'd walk to the church again. It was just like a peaceful routine that I was getting in. Not only that, I was going so hard in the gym, like just trying to wear myself out to the point where like I had no choice but to sleep. And then I started to eat really well. And then like, it was finding that routine, that zen, that simplicity, and like actually just finding enjoyment and like looking at the tree or like a bird or something like that. Or I remember I live right beside MacArthur Island Park, which is essentially just a river that goes through town. And I would just stare at the ducks for like 30 minutes. It sounds depressing, but it really helped. I like noticing those little things. And it's like, it's also hard when you come off such an extreme lifestyle where you're traveling all the time, you're making this money, but like I got so numb to it where it's like I actually had to intentionally practice looking at really simple things and finding beauty in it. And that really helped. Like like I took a lot of hard work to get through that. Of
Have you ever seen the movie The Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
course.
So Walter Mitty treks across the world, finds Sean Penn's character, and he's about to shoot the snow leopard. And then Walter Mitty asks him, he's like, "Are you going to take the shot?" And he's like, sometimes I don't take the shot. I just like to keep that memory for myself. I like to be in the moment. Do you think because you were shooting so much and you were working so hard at improving and getting all these projects done that you weren't seeing anything unless you were behind the lens? You weren't taking a moment just to appreciate everything you built for yourself?
I started to do it for the wrong reasons, is what I think. I veered away from my vision. I veered away from my principles. It's the only time that's ever happened to me. And it was such a kick in the ass. I don't think it'll ever happen again. But I think it was really necessary. I wouldn't trade it for anything because it just reminded me what happens when you chase things for the wrong reasons. And it's like if you're chasing things for the wrong reasons, you definitely you're kind of like floating on the surface, looking into the depths of your own life as an outsider. But if you're doing things for the right reasons and you're doing it because you're following your truth, your principles, the thing that burning fire that keeps you awake, then that's much more sustainable. And like, I don't have any regret. Like in Guatemala, like I don't even think I looked at the volcano erupt once with my bare eyes. I was shooting it. No regrets, man. Because that's what I love doing. And I wasn't doing it for views. I wasn't doing it for money or anything. It's just doing it because I fucking love doing that more than anything.
That's what Alex Hormozy says, is do something that you love that brings value to other people. And if it takes off and you can make money from it, you're going to be happy. But if you're doing something for the clicks, for the views, that's where you see these YouTubers who have to put out shit content, but they still get views every single week. And you know that guy that every single week is reviewing, these are the top 50 chocolate bars, and I'm going to put them in S tier or A tier. Like, that guy doesn't love what he's fucking doing just for the clicks. So do you have a rule book now to help with your mental health to make sure that you don't get back to that place again?
Yeah, kind of. I'm still working on it. I think it's a work in progress throughout your entire life because new problems happen, new things happen all the time. I just think it's recentering, getting rid of this. I know it sounds cliche, eating well, moving, and like really appreciating the things you have and it's exercise. It's literally like brain exercise. Mm-hmm. It's like if you stop going to the gym, you're going to like, no matter how long you've been going to the gym for, you might keep the muscle memory, but if you stop, you're going to get fat. Like you're going to lose everything you put on. It doesn't matter how much you've done. If you stop, this is just going to happen to you. I believe mental health is the same thing. I think it's just a constant exercise. Mm-hmm. Just being grateful. Literally, like when I'm out, I'll go for a walk. I like going for walks a lot now. Yeah. But I'll literally just look at the tree bark and I just think about it. You know what I mean? And it's not even because I like it. It's just an exercise. It's just a mental exercise. And then that also, in a sense, is really good for like vision boarding in your own head and like kind of manifesting. If you can like if I tell you to focus on this water bottle for 5 minutes, you can't look at anything else. You just have to observe this water bottle. It's really fucking hard. It's only 5 minutes, dude. It's really hard. But I'll literally do that sometimes too. I'll just look at an object for 5 minutes and just like force my brain to like tap out of everything else and just focus on this. Or I'll do a plank because you're really present when you're plank. Or I got into handstands. I'll hold a handstand. You're present for like a minute that you can hold that handstand. And those are all things that just remove everything and they make you hone in on one thing. And then to take it a step forward, think about your dreams, but think about them in the present tense. And you focus on it to the level you're focusing on this. You'd be surprised how much shit comes true.
Wow. I was doing planks this morning, and you definitely hit a nerve there with me because I'm in that plank and I have my headphones on and there's other people in the gym. And I only had to hold it for 60 seconds, but it was 60 seconds of plank and then 60 seconds of shoulder racked kettlebells, minute on each back and forth. And by the fifth time, I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, just count to 10. Okay, now count to 10 again. Now count to 10 again. And it's nothing else was going on. It was just that one moment. So if you can replicate that in your everyday life and just filter out all the noise and just recenter yourself, it's beautiful how well you're going to feel after that, especially if you're having a shitty day and you slept in and the shoot didn't go well because even though you planned for it, fucking thunderstorm rolled in, couldn't take the drone out, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to It's almost like a form of meditation, just filtering everything out and just being present in the now on that one thing. And then you have that breath and you're like, okay, like my life's not so bad. It's just one moment where shit wasn't going well, and let's just continue on.
It's perspective, man. It's like, I even think like, oh, I want to be here in my life is like the wrong mindset. 'Cause you're just putting it ahead of yourself. It's like, I had this recent thing happen, and this was fucking crazy. So there's one company I've been dreaming of working for literally forever. They're beautiful destinations. They got like 50 million followers across socials. They're the biggest travel related account on the planet by a long shot. And it was always my dream to work for them. And they opened up their doors like a month ago saying like, hey, we're hiring 4 people. And I literally, before I submitted the video, I literally watched it. I was like, I'm going to be working for them. And I just knew it. And I remember I visited my parents. I told them the same thing. I'm going to be working with them. I'm making the submission video right now. I already know I'm going to be working with them. And I would just talk myself into it. Lo and behold, I submit the video. They email me back. They're like, you're at the first stage of preliminary. I hop on the meeting. I talk to them as I'm already working with them. Like, I've known them for years, making them laugh. And then I get to the next stage. And then they do another video saying like, hey, we're still reviewing applications. And they'd taken a compilation of everyone's videos and threw it into one video. And like, all my footage was half the video. I was like, I haven't made it yet, but like I have pretty good odds. And then I literally got the email this morning that I'd got it. So it's
fucking
like,
go, man. Let's go.
Yeah, sweet. So it was like one of those childhood things that like came true. But I remember talking to my girlfriend about it. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And she's like, yeah, like all my friends are like, yeah, we believe in you. We know you're skilled, but like, that's kind of like egotistical a little bit. I don't know. I think like if you read Relentless, the ego can be used in a very powerful way. But I would dedicate that thing happening just based on the fact that I didn't put it ahead of myself. I just said, no, I'm already going to make it. Like, I already know.
Dude, that's sick. I have a similar mindset, right? Actually exactly the same, but the way I express it is, so anything I do, I'm not worried about getting hurt. I'm not worried about a business plan failing. I'm not worried about bills that have to be paid. Like, especially when I was younger in the bars, I would have no money and rent was due in 2 days and I had to pay like $1,500, and I would pick up shifts. I'd work a double shift. I would fucking hustle. But my saying is, everything always works out for me, and everything always does work out for me because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I know what needs to be done. It's going to work. I am confident with it. I'm already in my head. That thing has already happened. Mm-hmm. I know it's going to happen. So I have this confidence, but I think what the real reason is, and this goes to you with getting this, your submission and being selected for it, is the same thing as on top of that podium at the end. It's all that work you've put in before. Mm-hmm. You know yourself. You're confident in yourself. And you say ego, and it can be used for good things. And I wouldn't say it's having a big ego. Your ego's just inside of you.
Everyone has it.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's you knew that you were at that level, and you knew you were better than everyone else, and you put that submission in, and you're like, you knew it was going to happen.
Well, it's like, I don't even think you can have that level of confidence if you haven't put in the work, because it's like, I could say I'm a rocket scientist, but you'd look at me like a dumbass because I've never done rocket science. But if I had done engineering school for like 10 years and then had 10 years of work experience, like now I'd have confidence in saying that. Mm-hmm. And it's just because like you develop that by doing the fucking thing. Like there's no cheat code or quick way around it. Like you just do the things, you do enough of the things, then you become that person. There's like, the only reason I'm able to talk like that and have people not even look at me like I have two heads, it's because they know I've done the things too. Mm-hmm. It's so simple. It's like, there's no cheat code. Like, yeah, we can talk about mind hacks and all the shit. That might be a percentage of it, but 90% of it is just fucking do the thing. Like, shut up.
That's what they all say. It's like, don't fucking talk about the thing. They say like, be quiet and go fucking conquer it. It's do the fucking thing, and then the future things will happen. But just fucking do it. That's
it's
all it
binary,
is.
Dude.
It's zeros or ones, man. If you want to be great at videography and put out epic fucking shots, you're not going to get better at that epic drone shot if you don't use the fucking drone.
And you know the crazy thing? The most impressive people I've worked with or I've been mentored by, they have the most humility too. So it's like, even when you do fuck up, like let's say I didn't make it and I talked all this shit. Like you could say, oh, it's because, like you hear it all the time. You hear it everywhere. But like that doesn't benefit you. Yeah, it might make you look better if the person's gullible enough to believe it. But I think humility is the biggest thing. It's like knowing that you landed on your face, you got humbled, but now when you get humbled, you see things a lot more clearly, and now there's a roadmap. There's like a path to not have that happen again. So it's like I don't even mind like getting humbled. I think that's a blessing in and of itself. Like being humbled is the best thing. Like I had a conversation with my mentor. It was 3 hours long, and the entire conversation for the first hour or 2 hours and a half, I was kind of dancing around the issue that I was experiencing. And he's like, what's really really wrong, Tyler? And I was like, you knew something was wrong? And he's like, yeah, I could see it in your eyes. You have eye bags. Like I can tell you're dancing around the issue. Like, what is it? And he humbled me on the spot. And then I literally got back in the truck after having that 3-hour lunch. And, I was like, wow, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, how did I not think that's the simplest solution to this issue I was having? It's just I was making excuses for it. But it's like sometimes you'll get humbled. Sometimes people will humble you. Sometimes you'll humble yourself. It's just how you react to it. It's humane and it's a normal thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't change what happens to you. You can only change how you react to it.
Yeah. It's beautiful when that happens.
So it sounds like you've had tons of crazy success stories, but there has to be something that happened along the way where you were just an epic failure in it.
Ooh.
It can't all be roses and sunshine.
Dude, the thing is like, I credit my father for this because he never really made me see failures as failures. He like humbled me. Like as quick as he was to tear me down, he was the first person to accept me and to build me back up. So there's one instance, the first time I had ever experienced overworking myself. This is in the time period where Joel had just left back to LA. I had just gotten my driver's license, and I had a shoot after school that day, and there's a snowstorm. There's everything in the forecast telling you not to fucking drive. My parents, even one of the crew members that was on the shoot that had to commute was like, no, I'm not doing this. And it's just every sign in the world. And that day I ended up getting in a head-on collision. It was really, really fucking scary because it was on the highway and I was young. And it's just like, that was the first lesson where I was like, you can't overwork yourself like this. Like, yeah, you might have just lost this opportunity due to unforeseen circumstances and you don't want to live a normal life anymore. But it doesn't mean you like it's great to be a savage and to overwork, but like you can't do it to the point where you ignore clear danger. Like you have to be stoic, you have to be critical, and you have to weigh things out. It's like, it was my first year driving. I never driven in the winter, never driven in a snowstorm. I was like if I wasn't speeding, I probably could have like dodged it.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't so fucking tired, maybe my reaction time would have been better. Like there's all these collective what ifs that would have came with like proper critical thinking and due diligence. And as much as I'd like to think I'm a critical thinker, you can't critical think when you're at school for 6 hours and then working for 6 hours. You don't sleep. And then at the time I started dating my girlfriend too. So you have like, dude, it was just like, you can't critically think
everything
when that's happening. And that was like one of my first rude awake humblings is like, oh, I can fucking die to stupid shit if I neglect my basic necessities, sleep, eating, like alone time, all these things. So that didn't necessarily make me want to quit, but it definitely redirected me in a very healthy manner. I don't think I've ever wanted to quit. Like Like I just have this belief that it's like my skin. You can't change it, man. Like I just have this within me. I don't think there is quitting. I think if everyone magically died on the planet, I'd probably still make films and go to an abandoned theater and watch them myself.
Make it for the aliens that come eventually as a history of Earth. So
yeah, so I've just had really huge redirections in my life, but I've never wanted to quit. I think like if you have a gift, the biggest disservice you can do is just not give it back. And like that's like I feel like I have a gift, and I feel like it's my duty, my purpose on this planet to give it back in one way, shape, or another.
Man, you're so lucky to have walked away from that.
Oh, it was full on head on collision. And I looked at the statistics, 65% of people die in a collision like that at that speed. And I fucking walked away like nothing. Nothing happened.
So I got a story for you. So you can see here, scar.
Holy fuck.
It's like 18 inches long. I got one there too. There, head on collision on the highway. 18 years old.
Wow.
I am wanted to be a writer. Got into Vancouver Film School. It's my last night out with the boys. I'm supposed to get on a bus at like 9 in the morning to go to Vancouver to start film school. So we all go out drinking and driving. I accept responsibility for that. People are like, I don't want their pity for it. Like I was 18. I knew what I was doing in the backseat of this Honda Civic and driving on the highway. And I still to this day remember seeing the lights, and I lean forward to yell at the driver. Seatbelt comes up. Boom, the crash. Seatbelt tears my muscle wall, tears my diaphragm in half. All my guts were super fucked up. I'm in the hospital for a month. I go in 196 pounds, come out 146 pounds. Didn't eat for a month.
Fuck.
You know when you like make a pot of spaghetti and you pull it out of the water and it's all nice, but then if you drain the water and you don't do anything, it comes out in a glob. Your guts should come out all nice. Mine came out in that ball. So they ended up cutting out a third of my small intestine. My large intestine had this 6-inch laceration on it, almost went septic. So they detached, they cut off your small intestine from your large intestine. They cut a hole in your side. That's what this one is. They fold it back on itself. It's called a stoma. So, and then you have a bag, an ostomy. So you shit into a bag so that your large intestine could heal. Funny thing though is I always see the lighter side of things. I called my stoma, his name was Winnie the Pooh. So I have this bag for 4.5 months, and that was probably my lowest point in my life. And I had said to myself early on, I'm like, if I don't get this bag removed, I'm like, it's not worth living. I'm going to kill myself. So
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was deep, dark depression. Still have I have obviously physical scars, but there's obviously still some emotional things that I haven't dealt with. And I mean, they'll come up eventually, but yeah, it was, lost 50 pounds, 4.5 months later, got the bag removed. Took me 7 years to get back up to my original weight. That's how fucked up I was from that. So count yourself lucky at that young age. Cause what you're like 17?
17.
Yeah. So you're a year younger than me and never went to film school. Could never write again. It just was just gone.
Took it out of you.
Yeah, I don't know if at the time it just brought up too many emotional things, but for that, like you have to get accepted to school, so you have to write a whole screenplay and stuff. And I still remember the name of it. It was called The Ticket, and the way it worked. And this would have been good. You could have filmed something like this. This guy goes and buys a lottery ticket at the store, and then it follows him, and then his son wants to spit his gum out, and he just thinks he grabs like a wrapper, but he puts it in the ticket, and then the whole story is the traveling of the ticket. And then this guy is like down on his luck, and he thinks like the money's going to change his life. And as the film's going on, it's a short film, the numbers are rolling off, and it's what his numbers were. And at the very end of it, the guy realizes that what he needs in his life isn't money. He has it all. He has a loving family and everything. So it's supposed to be like a beautiful moment. And then the ticket ends up back on the bottom of his shoe because the gum's on it. And then he reaches down, he grabs it, and even though it's like $50 million, he throws it in the trash because he already has everything but he doesn't know it's the winning one, but it's just a piece of trash to him, but he already has everything in his life that he needs.
Very cool.
So that was my submission. And but after that, man, yeah, I just never written again.
How did you get back on your feet?
The biggest thing for that would be walking. Like walking got you out of that mental funk. And then, excuse me. And then for me, it was, I had to move, because if you're injured and you just lie around, your body's never going to heal. Because of the scars, I was slouched over. So I grew up North Terrace. Our driveway is probably like 100 feet long. And every day, I'm a mama's boy through and through. She would get me up, and I fucking hated it. I hated her for it at the time. And I would have to walk to the end of the driveway and back. And then the next day I'd have to walk like an extra 10 feet. And eventually, over the course of like 3 months, I was able to go out for like a 5-kilometer walk. And that was, I would say, how I got back on my feet would 100% was my mom.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, love you, Mom.
Yeah. Nothing beats the support of your mom. Like, even after my car crash, like, yeah, just being with my family and it's like they anticipated something like that happening, not to that level, but I'd had warnings, so it's just, but if you have a good, like, I don't know how, like, there's some people out there that don't have that support system or that family. And it's like, I see a lot of people on the internet always trying to say, like, they downplay their parents, they downplay where they came from, to have like a fabricated rags to riches story. And it's like, I think that's like the biggest disservice, because like a lot of parents, like, they don't get enough credit. Like, I can't give my parents enough credit. Like, even when you asked me the question about mentors, the first person I credit is my father, because it's like and I'm not saying for every family. Like, I don't know how the guys do it that actually don't have a family and like manage to pull through in life. Like, that shit is just like unearthly impressive, and like, all respects to them. But like, yeah, having that support system, man, is like, you can't buy that. Like, there's nothing that beats that, especially when you're at your lowest. Because when you have nothing, it's like, what do you have? You have them. So,
yeah. My mom has always been, I have the craziest fucking ideas, and she's like, yeah, okay, like, pursue that, and like, she's very positive about it. And she also knows, Adrian found this out very quickly. To get me to do something, you have to tell me I can't do it. And then I'm like, fuck you, I am going to do this. So I thought for years, even though she's always been supportive, and I would say something, she's like, well, maybe, like, so I did my first ultra marathon last year in August, and I'd only started running. Thank you. I'd only started running in April. So in April, I ran 3 kilometers. In August, about almost a month to the day, I ran a 50K. And I was talking to her about it, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this 50K. And she's like, well, you've only ever done 10K races. Why don't you just like try with the 25? And then as soon as she said that, I was like, oh man, I'm like, I want to do that 50, but secretly she knows what she needs to do to be that, that little bit of extra motivation. And that's how she's always been in my life. She knows me better than anyone, I would say. I talk to her on the phone almost every day on my drive home from work. And so, yeah, I think family being supportive, because like for me with that, the car accident, it really, like you say, sometimes like other people humble you or you humble yourself, but sometimes life humbles you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just organic. It's nature, bro.
Yeah. Like life will happen when you're making other plans. So my plan was film school through and through, and then life just threw this curveball, and I love where I'm at now. And there's been other things along the way where shit didn't go the fucking way I planned, but I wouldn't change anything that's happened to me. I wouldn't go back and change that car accident from not happening, because that really helped shaped kind of who I am. Because after that, for me to get back 7 years to get back to that weight, like I had to push myself. And now there's after conquering that, man, coming back from that accident, there's nothing that you can't put in front of me that I will not tackle with 110, 1,000%, whatever you want to call it, fire emoji. Like I will fucking do the best that I can do at that. And I know at the end of the day that if I don't succeed at that I gave it everything.
Yeah. And I actually have this core belief that a lot of people say like, oh, it's great that you did the best. You at least you did the best you can. I don't believe that. I think if you actually do the best you can, there's no fucking reason why you shouldn't end up where you need to go. Like a lot of people don't do the best they can. I don't think it's actually humanly possible to do the best you can. Like it's like you have to, like that is just like unmeasurable. Like you can't hit that. Like cause it's imaginary, right? But it's like if you actually do the best you can, you would have made the right moves. So it's like, how do you aim as close to that as possible? Did you get rid of everything? It's like, I always talk about the movie The Martian. Have you watched it?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so he's stuck on Mars, and he's trying to get the fuck out of there back to Earth, right? And I love that movie, not because it's a great movie or anything. I don't even consider it on my top 10 list. But there's a scene in it where he's leaving Mars. He's got the spaceship. He's leaving Mars. And he has to start getting rid of weight. So he's fucking throwing everything out of the spaceship as he's leaving the atmosphere. And it's like, I think in life, doing the best you can is, have you exerted everything? Have you sacrificed everything? Like the truest form of love is sacrifice. So like if I really love what I do to the level of what I say I do, have I sacrificed everything for that thing? And a lot of people don't actualize that. They don't, like, I know people that have like fucking remortgaged their house to keep their business alive. People that have like had their like families walk out, and I don't wish that on anyone, but there's people like, even you take Michael Jordan, for example, look at the shit he gave up, or Tiger Woods, or like all these people that's like dark, fucked up shit for that thing. And it's just, at what level are you willing to go to? How dark, no matter how messed up it is, are you willing to go to? And it's like, a lot of people, like, you got to be a little bit crooked to kind of go that far.
A little bit crazy.
And that's why there's not many people like that. But like, a lot of people aren't willing to take those steps. I mean, I named extreme examples like leaving your wife, or like gambling addictions and like all this weird stuff. But you can kind of do that in a macro level. Like did I sacrifice food today? Did I like, can I walk? Did I push it so hard at the gym? Can I like if I'm still able to walk, I didn't push it that hard. Did I fucking black out doing this? Like, you were doing that, you were going to do that race in the Sahara. I think you're doing it next year now. Like that's one of those things where people probably fucking black out doing that. People probably fucking die doing that. And it's just because they want it so bad. Yeah. And like, people do not, like, it all looks like rainbows and sunshine from the outside when you see these people at these places. No, it's fucking dark. Especially at the highest level, it is dark. It's not even pretty. It's not even appealing. Like, it's actually gross.
Yeah. So. People always ask me, I used to power lift and put up some big fucking numbers, and then I'm super fit, and people are like, can you help me? Like, how did you get there? And it's like, it's all, how bad do you fucking want it? And they're like, well, I want it fucking bad. So I'm like, okay, I will help you. You can come to the gym with me. You can do all this. But the first thing I want to see is, for 1 week, I don't care what you eat. I don't care if you drink. I want you to write out every single thing that you eat for a week. And I probably said this to, I don't know, like 100 people. And of those 100 people, 2 people have ever done it. So that just shows you 2% of the people I talked to actually wanted it. It was my cousin Spencer, and it was my fiance Janelle. And Spencer wanted it so bad. And he's like, because he's a hunter. He's like, I need to get in better shape so I can pack through the woods with my gun. They're going like, I don't know, like 50 kilometers in the bush, all by foot. And then they're hiking out with the deer on their back. He's like, I need to get better. What should I do? And he's still up north in Terrace. And then there's this hill. It's called the Pump House Trail. And it's probably about, I don't know, maybe like 100 meters of elevation. And it takes like, I don't know, like 15 minutes to do. And I'm like, go walk up and down that 3 times, twice a week to start. And he's like, okay. And the next week he's like, I did it. I'm like, okay, do it again, but you're going to do it 3 times this week. And then next week, I'm like, okay, you're going to do it 3 times, but you're going to go up and down 5. And now you can do it with a bag. And he just fucking stuck with it. And I think he lost like 30 plus pounds. And then he got out into the woods, and he's like, man, that was the easiest fucking hunting trip. We had the worst weather, the worst conditions, but I was just miles ahead of the other guys. Just up it, because that's how fucking bad he wanted. And if you don't want it bad enough, that's when Netflix and fucking, I don't know, a bag full of Sour Patch Kids calls your name. Like, if you want Netflix and Sour Patch Kids more than you want to pursue your dream, you gotta want what you're trying to achieve more, like, as much as you want to breathe. So you're in the ocean. There's a guy with his fucking head, or with his foot on your head, and when you have no oxygen, you're screaming for it. You fucking want that. You have to want whatever it is you're going after as bad and as fucking intense as you want when you're fucking drowning and you need that breath of air.
People don't understand how complicated the world is, and how many combinations there are, and how intricate each like cell and frickin' atom is. And it's like, the world is this complicated and so freaking vast, and there's so much variety out there. And it's like, you really think you've tried everything? Like, what is it? So so again, referring back to Relentless, Tim Grover, for the reason why I reference him so much is because of his attention to detail. They would record every game. They would record their guy on every game, and they would fucking study it until like 4 a.m, like replaying video clips. Oh, when you do this certain shot, you're slightly leaning on your right foot, and that's why you have this pain, because it's a buildup over time. It's just that small shift of weight made a huge difference in the way the athlete was performing. And then they recorrect it. Now it's like 1,000,000 times better. So it's like, even when you are drowning, have you, like, even moving 1 millimeter is progress. Like, people don't realize that small things can have big effects on your life. So there could be something in your life currently that you are doing very small wrong in, but it's costing you dividends, right? And then vice versa. It's kind of like the 80-20 rule. So that's why you have to be hyper cognitive, hyper aware. You have to, like, literally look at things so deeply. Cause like I said, look at this table, how many atoms are in it? Like, people don't, like, I try to think so deeply, because if you aim small, you miss small, right? Like, it's common saying. So you have to think really detail orientated. And then there's 9 times out of 10, there's always a way out.
Yeah. Have you ever had an experience where you've almost drowned before and, like, really wanted a breath of air?
Yeah, man. Like in the ocean, like, just younger, you know, we'd go to Mexico or something, and I was learning how to surf at the time. And yeah, sometimes there's one time in particular, it was storm or whatever, but big waves, big winds, you got fucking sucked under. And it's like, you think, you know, you're out of breath, you can't take it any longer. And then magically you're another 30 seconds as you're getting fucked up underwater. And then it's like another 10 seconds. And then you get it. And you're like, oh, I was done like a minute ago while I was getting fucked up.
It's like David Goggins says, when your body tells you you're done, you're only 60% of the way there. It's fucking, your mind is so much more powerful than your body. I was in Australia, it's probably like your age, and we're at Bondi Beach. There's no lifeguards on, and we're just splashing around in the waves. Like, big waves are coming in, we're jumping, and then we're in one, and we get fucking tossed by this other one. I get spun around, and I come up, I'm like, take that breath. And when I look around, I'm like 60 feet further out. I get stuck in a rip. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, I'm an okay swimmer. So I swim parallel to the shore, get out of the rip. I swim too far, and I'm in a bigger rip. So I'm like 350 feet from shore. I'm like so small. I'm like this far out there. And I'm like, fuck me. I'm like, I got to swim back to shore. So I swim out of that rip, and I start swimming. I'm coming back in, and it's like 25 minutes later. And I'm like, still not there. And then at this point, I'm finally big enough that I'm wave my arms. And one of the people we were with was a lifeguard, and they see me and they start scrambling out. But I'm still so far out there. So I'm swimming, and it got to the point where the water was probably about 10 feet deep, where I would actually stop swimming and I would just sink to the bottom to rest. And I would just like stand on the bottom. And it went going through my head. I'm like, I'm going to fucking drown. So I'd go to the bottom, and I'd kick up, and then right when I had like nothing left is like right when boom, my foot hits it, and I'm able to stand like just with my mouth out of the water. I'm like in and out, and I fucking walked in, and I was like, fuck, like life-changing experience for me. Because after that, terrified of water for probably like 15 years or so. And then with my girlfriend at the time, and we loved to hike to like waterfalls and stuff. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get over this fear. Also afraid of heights. So I'm like, all these waterfalls we go to, I'm gonna fucking jump into. So overcome this fear, jumping into waterfalls. Waterfalls become our thing. And I took it even a step further. I made sure that every hike we went to, see a waterfall. So we went to St. Lucia, and she thought, this big trip, like I was going to propose, and then we go to this huge waterfall. She thinks it's going to happen, but I had planned it that way. I wanted it to be a surprise for her, so didn't propose in St. Lucia. Year later, we're in Hawaii for my birthday, and we go hiking through the bamboo forest, and we get to this one waterfall. I'm like, no, it's not good enough. And I had my drone, and I'd fly up, and I'd see where we had to go. So we hiked for like 4 hours, and we finally get to this one spot. And what I had done previously at all the other waterfalls, that I'd set our phone up, and I would record it. So she thought nothing was happening. So we're out there, and I've got the ring in my pocket, and she's splashing around, and I get down on one knee, and I'm like, "Hey, Janelle," and she turns around, and she just loses it. But long story short, I got over my fear of water from almost drowning, and then parlayed that into getting over it and proposing to her.
That's beautiful, dude. That's crazy.
Years of preparation.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, she lost the ring in the waterfall that day, though.
Really?
No, I just fucking. Yeah, I didn't have insurance on it yet.
Now you really hate water.
Yeah, I'm never going back in. But I used that
so
experience though. I was terrified of water, and I was like, I have to get over this, and I put the work in, and now I love fucking.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. That's awesome, man.
No,
I love it.
I want to know though. So you've mentioned, I think you said your dad, and then you mentioned Joel, and then you mentioned what's the guy out in Toronto? Is that the
Val.
third mentor? Who's number 4?
His name's Brandon. He's a huge PR firm owner in Vancouver. Like a lot of the things you see that affect you on the daily, he's doing PR and marketing for. So politics, like he doesn't really tell me the intricacies because there's obviously, well, I mean, when you're in marketing at that level, you're basically a lawyer. You just you're just
Tons of confidentiality.
protecting the cause.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's so confidential, but they're like at the very pinnacle of what I do is. And it's like, it's so funny, dude, because I had gotten lucky, and I've gone on a couple shoots with them and stuff like that, where they had been shooting different documentary pieces for said marketing or PR project. And it's like literally just one minute piece of the puzzle, which was like big for me and the other filmmakers, but just one thing for them. And I remember sending him a text one day, just randomly out of the blue. And I'm like, I'll pay you $1,000 an hour for a call. It was like some long-winded text. I was like, I can't afford that, but fuck it. Like I'm like, it's probably going to be worth it, even if I retain 5%. And it just got to the point where I was like, I was so persistent and I was so committed, and I didn't give a shit, that he was just like, who is this kid? Like, why is he doing this? And he just ended up doing it for free. And now it's like the amount of time that they dedicate towards helping me, they say it sharpens them or something. I don't know why they do it, but like they're the most brilliant. It's him and his wife that own the business together. And they're just like the most brilliant people, because it's like I'll come to them with like a huge issue in my business or my life, because there's a lifestyle that goes along with the business. And like I said, we had lunch one day for 3 hours, which I don't even know how they have 3 hours of time for me.
Okay.
And they'll just listen to me for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Just, just small talk. And they're like, what's really wrong, Tyler? Because we can see this. And then it's like, I open up about the issue. 2 seconds, they're like, they have the answer for it. Yeah, we've been through that like 10 years ago. And I'm like, am I just, like, you just can't buy experience, dude. It's like, it's brilliant, like, people to have that in your corner. And it's like people that don't judge you either. Like, you can judge people for anything, man. But I love the people that just immediately accept, even if you do something fucked up or you're actually really wrong, or they just accept you, they forgive you, and they're like, okay, here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. How do we learn from this?
Yeah, they're the best, like the best people. And it's like, I don't know how I got so lucky being in that position. And it's like they're more on like the macro level where they can see the details. And it's like they can say something and like I implement it, and then I actually see the progress. Whereas like other people I've met, especially my father, it's more like big picture, like perspective stuff. So it's definitely like having a mentor is a cheat code. It'll save you. It'll take years off your, like take years of grinding out of your career.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a mentor, and she was supposed to just be an accountant. And then I just started calling her for other things. She's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this way. And I'm like, something comes up. I'm like, what the fuck do I do for this? She's like, well, it's not really an accounting question, but I had this happen to me 15 years ago, and this is what I did. I think you should look at it this way. And it's just because sometimes you're so close to the problem.
Yeah.
You can't see the answer. And then all it takes is, it could even be some random person on the street, and you're like, man, this is happening. And they're like, have you thought about it this way? And you're like, oh my God, it's so fucking simple. Why didn't I think of that? But because you're so close to whatever the issue is that you just need to pull back sometimes.
I try to with them, at least. Like we have because they're in Vancouver. So when I'm down there, I meet with them. But at least if I'm not down there, or the time doesn't work out, I have a call with them. So I do that at least once a month where I get like really humbled. Like, and they know everything, like everything. Even the personal issues, dude, because that shit goes along with, like, as much as people say, oh, don't mix business with personal. Dude, it's impossible. Like this is like especially when you're an entrepreneur, like that's you. So they know everything, and they're just like the best people. And it's like I get humbled real bad at least once a month, but like it's like real things that I implement, and I literally see it in real time, like fix itself.
Yeah, I feel like, so earlier you brought up that really being a man is dealing with your things. It kind of feels like speaking with them is when you have that opportunity to like to be vulnerable. Because I mean, I try and open up all the time with my wife, and then sometimes there's just things that aren't going to come out the right way. But with them, it's a safe place, and you know they're not going to judge you for it. And even if they don't have the answer, it's just good just to kind of get it off your chest sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. That is like, I think that's one of the most masculine things you can do is just face your demons. Like, don't hide from them. Like people get it all backwards. Like, oh, you need to be stoic. You need to be like a rock. Yes, like you can't, like if something fucked up is happening in your life and you're responsible for like yourself having children and a wife, it's like, yeah, there's a time and a place to deal with your shit. But like, again, it's something you have to deal with it. And like, you have to find the right time and find the right place and the right people. So, and like having that is really important. And like, I used to never think that way. I used to always be really hollow and all this stuff, but like dealing with it is so much better because you just become a bigger savage once it's dealt with.
And once you've dealt with something before, when that issue pops up again, you're not just pushing it down and waiting for your fucking top to blow off. It's, oh, I went through this before. I pushed it down before, and then I talked about it with someone, and now I have the skill moving forward that when it pops up, it's like when you were in the Yukon, and you have to be strong, you have to be stoic in some situations. In that situation, you had to be the adult. You had to, call on the sat phone. The search party had to go out. You had to do all of this. That's not the time to
cry.
Someone already was crying. It couldn't be two of you. You can deal with that after the fact, but there's going to be those situations. I'm sure you've been on a shoot and everything's going wrong, and you're behind the camera, and the second film guy didn't show up, but you have to put on that face. You have to kind of be that character in that moment to make sure things do go right. Otherwise, it's all just going to be a waste.
As a leader, whether you're a director or you're leading anything, the moment you break your poker, like as a leader, like the moment you break your poker face and like people start to see the hesitation, like it breaks the entire crew, man. So it's like, even when shit's going wrong, you got to dance in the rain. You got to do the rain dance. Like, yeah, if it's raining, I'm not even joking when I say I do this. When it's raining and I'm on a shoot, I literally do a rain dance with my guys. And we literally fucking rain dance because when the sun comes out, we're like, at least we kept our energy level high. We were laughing and like doing something ridiculous. And when the sun comes out, you don't feel responsible for it coming out, but at least you didn't sit around moping and crying. You kept the energy levels up. And it's like, yeah, the rain dance worked, and it's all a joke.
Well, it's like behavior influences behavior, right? So if you're the director and you're the leader of this group, and it starts to rain and you pull your hood up and then you get all sullen and you're like, fuck, the day's gonna fucking ruin. It's just gonna bleed into everyone else. But if they see you're like, take your shirt off and you're dancing around. You're like, it's summer and it's raining. Let's take advantage. Let's have some fun. This is our 30-minute break for the day, and we're gonna shoot for the next 10. And then that feeling is contagious.
Oh yeah, man. Always. When everything fucking goes wrong, you gotta, like, even Mike Tyson says it, like, when you're getting punched in the face, act like you fucking love it. You'll scare the other people. You'll scare the guy across from you that's punching you in the face. Like, why is this guy like this?
Yeah, why is he laughing?
Even if it hurts like a bitch, you always gotta smile. But then, like, yeah, once you cool off, you get home, you can whine about it a little bit.
Yeah,
there's always room for that.
Journal it or something, wherever it is you do. You can call your mentor. So, I got a couple more questions. Big one being your the travel destination. What was the company called?
Beautiful Destinations.
Beautiful Destinations. Can you talk about what you're going to do for them? Or is that still, no?
I'm going to Dubai for 3 months. I'm living there. They're housing me, and we're shooting for Visit Dubai and a bunch of other big brands. So, but it's also like a mentorship thing too. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you've heard of Red Bull when they recruit people. It's the same process. So they take really talented people, but then they give them the Red Bull effect. So it's like, it's kind of like if you're a bodybuilder that's like reached your natural level of physique and then you take steroids, like like Chris Bumstead. So it's kind of like that. I feel like I'm very well versed in what I'm doing, but this is one of those things where before you officially start working with them, you got to go through the trenches with them, is what they kind of say. And you're getting mentored by like even Sam Colder, the guy I really look up to. There's a good chance I will be mentored by him during that time period, and they turn you into a savage to a bigger savage. So I have to go through a 3-month preliminary stage of mentorship, where they like turn you from like a really good artist into a world-renowned artist, and then once you go through that, they basically give you a contract, and I think they do 200 shoots a year all around the world. So,
and they call you up and say, "Hey,
call you out. You gotta go to Thailand, buddy."
Okay, twist my rubber arm.
Yeah,
what an opportunity, man! At such a young age, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've been dreaming about that forever. That's like the pinnacle. I don't even know what I'm gonna do after that.
You're gonna come back and you're gonna create even more epic shit. Man.
I mean, like right now, like I've built a little bit of a nest egg for myself. And like, I'm all for like taking new opportunities, but I don't like, on the other hand, you don't want shiny object syndrome. You don't want to sacrifice the people that supported you from the ground up. I'm not even just saying this because this is on camera. I love my clients too. Like I relate with them and I get off with them so hard on like certain things. And like, I'm fired up to see them. And they're the people that built me when I had nothing. And like right now, like it's stressing me out a little bit because I don't want to abandon them for something shinier. So right now, I just hired another guy as like a mentee / intern, and I'm just training him up because like I'm not like I can't leave. Like it's okay to like kind of what I'm explaining to everyone is like I'm going through this process. When I get back, that like trust me, the quality of what you're going to receive is tenfold to what I'm doing to you now. But I'm going to make sure you're good while I'm away, whether that's buffering content, making sure I have someone in place, etc. So like even now, even before I knew I had it, I was like, oh, well, at least I'm in the opportunity where people are inquiring with me about said opportunities. So if this one doesn't go through, something else will. So it's about time I do my due diligence and make sure I'm covered while I'm away, because you don't want to turn on the people that built you.
Well, this goes back to you're putting your money where your mouth is, because earlier you said you want to be able to support and give back to the people that have supported you. And this is exactly what you're doing.
I didn't even realize that, but you're right. Man.
Wow. When do you take off? Is there a date set yet, or?
There's 2 plausible dates. So it's either September for 3 months or January for 3 months. Yeah.
Are you leaning one way or the other?
January.
Is it better weather there then? Yeah. And then are you out of the Kamloops winter?
Yeah, get out of the Kamloops winter. Yeah. Back when it just starts to get nice out. That's what I'm hoping for.
Will your girlfriend come over too, or?
Yeah, like she's a business owner too, so she can kind of roll through the same hoops where she can learn how to delegate and train someone. And I told her she can come for the entire thing. So I think it'd be like a cool canon event for us, if you'd say.
Yeah. Do you guys like work together then? Is she in the?
Yeah, not like work together, but she owns an eyelash business.
Okay.
She does like eyelash and those kind of cosmetics, but I do all the marketing for her.
I thought your eyelashes looked pretty long.
No, she doesn't do them on me, but I'm a natural. But
bat your eyes at me.
But she's amazing, and like we collab. She's in all of my videos. Like half of the footage I have when I'm traveling is of her. So we're like a good yin and yang in that way. So she's always really good at doing eyelashes, but jumping into the entrepreneurial world is kind of sketchy, and it's not for everyone. And it's like, even if you are skilled, a lot of people don't have the confidence to do it. So I kind of, I just didn't like her working like a 9 to 5 because I couldn't see her as much. So I was like, no, we're going to make this fucking happen. And then, we made her eyelash business happen.
Sweet. I know with being an entrepreneur, and so many business owners go through this, everything's going well, shit starts to fucking fall apart. And then they're like days away from quitting or going bankrupt. And then all the hard work they did, fuck, that in my eye, all the hard work they did, there's that moment and it pays off. So I know the fear about going off on your own. You're going to have struggles, and you're going to fuck up, and you're going to fuck up again, and you're going to fuck up again. And then all those fuck ups, you learn from those, and then that's when it takes off. That's when you really learn, because you don't learn from your successes. Like, imagine if when you first got into content, I don't know, like when did you really start pumping out? Like 4 years ago?
Probably when I met Joel. Yeah, 4 years ago.
So imagine if like I watched all your videos, every single one of them, and I could clearly see. I had it on my laptop, and I was going to bring it up, but I was like, "Fuck it!" I watched them all. I know them up here, and I actually took note every single year. I took note of every location that you went to. I had like 5 videos for each year, except one year. I think was it last year you didn't post as much?
Last year I was pretty dry because I was more so like building. I didn't want my business to be something where like there's 2 things, right? My agency, it's a blessing. Like, again, it's a duality. Initially, I built my name, Tyler, up so well that if I, let's say, had a shoot and I sent someone else to it because I was delegating or just doing normal business practices, it would piss someone off because they're like, no, we want a Ty for this.
Yeah.
So I spent all of last year building OE Media's reputation.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now it's like, I literally got on the phone it was on Monday. I had a shoot, and she's like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, it's Tyler. And she's like, oh, it's Tyler. I didn't know I was working with you. I thought you were going to send one of your guys. And it's like, they were really excited to work with me, like the same level of excitement. So I worked really hard to build the reputation of my business to the level that I had built my personal reputation with. So I didn't post much last year because that was my goal. And like, even seeing that on Monday, I'm like, oh, I actually kind of achieved that. That's really sick that someone thought that.
Yeah, that's wild because your personal brand obviously was doing so well, but then you had the foresight that you can't be in 5 places at once.
Nope.
No. Yeah, but so where I was going with that before,
Yeah.
and then I definitely see the shift. But imagine if 4 years ago, if everything you were putting out was everything went viral. You're getting 500,000 views, you're getting 1 million views, and you're like, I'm doing everything right. And you might not have had the drive to keep pushing your craft because you found this niche where what you're doing is amazing for the views that it's getting, but what you really want deep down inside is, I feel like there's that creative side of you, that innovator. You keep want to push the envelope, and you want to push what Tyler can do. But if you had that super early success, I don't think you'd probably be where you're at now.
Like I said at the beginning, I don't want to get lucky, man, because that's unpredictable. That's dangerous. You don't want to get lucky. You want to literally hit every door. Try the doorknob, it lock, and you can't go through that door. You want to try 1,000 doors, and then the moment it opens, now you know what door you can go through. So I want to be able to predict exactly what I'm doing. I want to be able to recycle, rinse, and fucking repeat once I figure it out. And it's like there's no roadmap to it. You can't. It's something you have to figure out yourself. You have to find your voice. You have to study. You have to reflect. And that's just, again, it's just doing the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to get lucky. I don't care if it takes 10 years. I just want to be able to predict it.
I don't think it's going to take 10 years, my friend. Anything else? Any other big projects coming up? I mean, I don't think you can get much bigger at this point than Dubai, and you got Norway. But what happens between now and then January?
So I have the Norway project coming up, which is going to be a little bit crazy. I'm putting a little bit of a twist on it, but I don't want to talk about it too much.
No spoilers here.
And then, well, I'll tell you the title of the video, but it's a quest to capture the Arctic Circle.
Sick.
Yeah, like it's a simple title, but there's a cool concept that goes along with it.
Okay.
And then I have a personal project coming up in July called "The Pursuit of What's Real Will Set You Free from What's Fake." And it's kind of like what we talked about on this podcast. It's like finding your truth, finding your voice. And then there's like I'm filming it in BC because it's my home in the mountains. So
that's wicked. Are you going to be speaking more in that one on camera?
These ones are all me. Yeah.
About time, man.
Yeah.
So I think you have, obviously you got an eye for the shot, natural talent. You worked hard to get here. But I think as far as you on camera, I think you are just scratching the surface for what you can have.
Thank you.
Can have for that, man. Because like you said with the storytelling with the Guatemalan one, like you like hike up and you're talking to the camera and stuff, or you're in like that like hut kind of house at the top, and then you'd hike over to the other mountain. And like when I was watching that, I was like, I want to know more what he's doing, man. I want to hear him speak about his experience there.
Yeah, every artist has this weird pivotal moment where they find their voice. And I believe I found my voice in August of last year. I went to Iceland and I made my first video that was somewhat like that. And it's not perfect by any means, but I knew in that video that I had found my voice, my style, and yeah.
Yeah, when you're in that ice cave, the one that's not there anymore, and yeah, that was wicked. And there's that shot where you rip over, and you had said as well in a different post, you're like, I just took the most insane fucking shot I've ever done, and it's that dive over top of that waterfall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really felt in that video I found my voice, and that's like I remember reading that, and Rick, what's his name? The guy that wrote the Creative Act. He like did a bunch of producing for like all the top artists, and he's like, every artist will find their voice at some point, and it's some slower than others, but when you find it, it's like you got to hold on to it. Yeah. So I feel like in that particular video, I found my voice, and now it's like that wasn't perfect. The Guatemala wasn't perfect, but now at least I have a fucking roadmap now. like I know where I can take this now because I know what I'm capable of.
What would you say your voice is if you had to put it into words? What is Tyler's voice?
Yeah, so I've tried to recite it back to myself too, but as much as I'm a creative and as much as I'm good behind the lens and all this, I'm really into philosophy. I'm really, really into like philosophy. I like studying people like Da Vinci. I like reading. I like doing all these things. And I think with words coupled with action, coupled with art, I can definitely get into people's heads in a good way. Whereas like I'm not as much of an entertainer. I'm not as much of as a comedian or anything by any means, but I know I can say things that resonate with people and combine that with my art and my energy and like the world's creation. So I'm really interested in that. Like I want you to watch my video. I want it to feel fucking theatrical, and I want you to walk away with something that you didn't know.
I feel too that it's not so much about like what you say, but it's about how you're saying it and how it's going to resonate with them. Yeah. How it's going to make them feel. And then because you can see something and not take anything away from it, but it's like with smells, if you're like, so an example for this is my dad worked in the bush. He was a forester. So I was raised mostly by my mom because he was away for camp all the time. But for me, being in the kitchen, because when he would come home, I'd be standing there, 3 feet tall, and because he's a great cook. I think he missed his calling. I think he should have been like a world-renowned chef. But when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, doesn't matter what I'm cooking, it always brings me back memories of my dad because I have that that feeling associated with that. So in your storytelling, in your cinematic shots, in the way you craft it all, if you can make someone resonate with that with a feeling, they're going to remember that video. They're going to go back to that video. They're going to tell their friends about it. They're going to watch the next one and the next one because they're emotionally invested in what you're saying and what you're showing them.
My favorite movie ever created. Well, I mean, I have 3 that are pretty much, but there's one that's slightly above because my dad showed me it. But it's called Apocalypse Now. It's a movie about the Vietnam War, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, has Marlon Brando, Martin Sheen. It's a badass fucking movie. And it's not like it's the most entertaining movie in the world, but it's fucking unsettling when you watch it because they go so fucking deep and so fucking dark. And then like the production behind it too, he almost went bankrupt. He almost went to jail. It took like 8 years. Like you can feel that when you're watching it. Like when you're watching it, never watched a movie where I feel so fucking unsettled, but in a very cool way. And at the end of the movie, it's like, it's fucked, man. Like it's like they're actually going against a lot of like societal norms and beliefs at the time, talking about corruption and like all these dude, it's a mess. It's like the most beautiful mess you will ever watch. And then another one I really like, it's like, I guess for a newer one, maybe something people can relate with is Dune Part 2, not for like the typical reasons because it's pretty and it has Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet, but it's a very beautiful depiction on religion and the dualities with religion. There's one scene in particular in that movie where the main character has to drink this thing called the water of life. And what it does is it allows everyone to see, or allows the person that drinks it to see the future, the present, and the past, but for how it actually is and the truths. And it's like there's a cool parallel in the movie that like the truth is really fucking scary, and people are afraid to face the truth. And there's so many parallels in that movie that are so cool. And then the way they depict it and everything, it's just like, I like things that create questions. I like things that are theatrical, that make you think afterwards for weeks. I remember thinking for weeks after those movies, like, wow, like what the fuck? Like this isn't, yeah. Or another really good one. Sorry, the last one.
No,
I
love movies, man. Keep going.
Last recommendation. It's in the theaters right now. It's called Sinners. Another depiction about religion. And Ryan Coogler made it. And each character represents one of the deadly sins.
Oh, sick. Okay.
The two brothers, they have a cool parallel with each other. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. It's on my list to go see.
But it's about resisting, I think, temptation is the big one. And like, yeah, it's about sinning. It's about like, that'll only infect you in your life if you let it. And it's like, I'm still processing it because it's so good, but that movie's fucking deep, man. It's so deep, but I recommend everyone go watch it.
I think I'll go watch it this Saturday. I was going to go watch the new Mission Impossible, but I had Sinners on there, and usually I save the theater experience for like the big, like epic, like the films that are like a Nolan film. Like you want to see that on the big screen.
You want to watch this one on the big screen.
Okay.
It's shot like a Nolan film too. They used real 70mm film. Like it's fucking legit. Like it's like the real deal.
Okay.
But it's like, again, it's like, I don't want to spoil it too much, but you can't even put a genre in that movie. It's not a horror movie, but it's also like, it's like, there's no genre for it. It's so fucking original. But just watch it and like let me know what you think about it.
I will go on Saturday now. Speaking about directing, do you think that's a natural path for you eventually? Maybe some big picture things?
Yeah, like later on, like when I'm in my 40s and 50s. That's old guy stuff.
I mean, there are some young guys that put out some pretty wicked stuff, but it kind of seems like along your path, obviously you're putting in all those hard work, but guy messaged you on Instagram, like, get this thing with Netflix, and you're putting yourself in these positions, but maybe there's a time when there's a big film production going on. Like maybe Nolan's going through town, and then somehow because you're at a coffee shop with, on a break from, maybe you're in Dubai and you're out there and someone sees something you're doing and they're like, hey, we're going to be in Thailand shooting the next Nolan film. Like, do you want to come operate a camera or something? And like, that's how it works out. It might just fall in your lap. Like I said, life's what happens. You're making other plans. You might not want to do it till you're 40, but the opportunity comes up. And I feel like you're the kind of guy that you're not gonna pass on massive opportunities because you're willing to, you've put in the time and you're willing to do those sacrifices. So
I don't care, man. Like I just want to create.
Yeah.
I just want to create. So that's literally it. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. I think artistic expression through directing, especially someone like Nolan who writes the majority of his stuff, I don't know if you can get in this day and age much higher level of creativity.
It's really hard because at that level you're dealing with the studios. So the thing with Sinners too, another reason why I love the movie so much is because of the way he handled the back end of that whole thing.
I've read about it. Insane, man.
They basically said, like, we're not really into this movie, blah, 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 blah. They basically handed him the rights to it after 25 years because they had no confidence in the film. And then it ended up doing really, really well. Yeah. Like record-breaking well. I think in the it is put in the horror genre as much as I don't think it's a horror movie.
Oh, there's vampires in it, right?
Yeah. So, but the runner-up movie in terms of like ratings was The Conjuring, which scored an A-. They score it like school. It was an A-, and it was the first horror movie to be an A-. I think it's one of the only A- horror movies. Sinners just got put above it at an A.
Is that like Metacritic?
I'm not,
or Cinema Score?
Forget which one it is.
Yeah, okay.
It's the biggest one. But it's the highest in terms of like ratings, highest rated horror movie.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So they like when you're put in a position like that where you have the liberty of writing your own films and the studios trust you, like, but like you don't, again, like Marvel fucking sucks because there's so many restrictions. I like old Marvel, but not new Marvel.
I just I won't go down the Marvel path, but I love all the Marvel stuff just because I'm such a comic book nerd. But I want to talk more about Ryan Coogler and what he did with that movie is he got the rights for it.
Yeah.
But he also had in his contract negotiated complete creative control.
Yeah.
He had final cut and he got back end. He's got back end percentage on that.
Yeah.
So
Savage.
man,
That's
guy,
rare. But they only did that because they didn't have confidence in the movie doing well.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but again, that's why A24 is doing so well, because people nowadays are starting to fuck with like that authentic originality, like getting inside of people's heads. Like even my friends that are way high up on the DP spectrum, like I have a guy that shoots bikes, and a lot of times they're trying to sell a bike or whatever, and there's like a shot list. Or very few times they're like, do what you want.
Yeah.
And it turns out so much better, dude.
It'd be better if you just let that guy go out there, because they're going to say, get these shots at this location. And then you get to that location and maybe like a tree fell over and he's like, you know, it'd be fucking sick. Like we shave off some of these branches, you roll up that tree and then you drop in. But if all you have is this shot list and you don't have any artistic expression, are you really going to get the same level of finished product if the artist, which would be you behind the lens, is stuck within these small confines? Never. Like,
as much as constraints are good, like rules are good, again, like there's a time and a place to break them. Like you have to know the rules to be able to break them. You know what I mean? So, and it's like, if you're an artist, you never want, like, you don't want to paint on someone's half finished canvas. You want to just paint your own canvas. So yeah, like it's definitely a weird industry.
Yeah. I feel like Ryan Coogler is like in that same level as like Jordan Peele now. You know what I mean? Like Jordan Peele movie comes out and like he's had full creative control over it. And you're like, remember when the first one came out, Get Out, and I watched that and I was like, what the fuck was that, man? Like insane. But he had a vision, he had an idea, and the studio said, yeah, this is kind of crazy. Go and do your thing. And it performed so well.
On the contrary though, you look at Dune. And Dune is a novel. It's really old. It's really good. I read it.
Yeah. Frank Herbert.
Again, this is being humble. Denis Villeneuve, when he set out to direct Dune, he said, not only do I want to be faithful to Frank Herbert's vision, I want to be uber faithful, because people read the first book and they interpreted it not the way he wanted to. So he fixed the flaws in Frank Herbert's book and made it more faithful. But that was him being humble to Frank Herbert. And the movie turned out like 10 times better.
I loved it, man.
Yeah, because I hate it when people fucking remake movies or they screen movies and then they just do not go along with the author's vision, and then it just becomes a fucking mess. Like, like The Maze Runner, the best books I have ever read, my guy, and then they ruined them. Like I remember being in the theaters, like no, like or Twilight, and another one. Books are just like insane, and then like the movies are just a fucking joke.
Never read or watched any of those ones.
It's a joke.
But then sometimes too, with adapting a book, staying true to the source material and the writer's vision, but then there is a change. Like the movie, ever seen the movie or read the book The Mist by Stephen King?
No.
So can I ruin it for you?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So what happens is this mist rolls in. These people get stuck in a grocery store and people try and like escape. And there's all these like weird, like otherworldly creatures out there. They all fucking die. But then what happens in the book is the father and his young son, and then this other girl and this older dude, they get out, they get to a vehicle and they drive away. And then they're still in the mist. And then they hear this like something's crashing through, and they're like, oh fuck. They're like, we're all going to die. And then in the book, the military shows up. But what happens at the end of the movie, and then Stephen King said that ending's better than mine, is the father has a rifle and they hear the army coming. Or not a rifle, so he's got a revolver. He's only got 3 bullets. So he kills the son, kills the girl, kills the old man because he doesn't want to get teared apart by the monsters. And then he's just like click, click, click on his own head. And then the military rolls up and he's like, fuck. So he has this like, obviously he's struck with grief. He just killed his son. He killed 2 other people, but it didn't have to happen. But like when I watched that movie, and then I left that with it was an experience, and I was shooken by that end moment with being a father as well. So sometimes the the new person has that other kind of view on it, and it helps that project be better than the original one is.
Yeah. The only thing is a lot of directors are not faithful to the vision.
They tear it apart.
Yeah, they tear it apart. But that's like, it's just a maturity factor. That's why sci-fi films or adaptations, they don't get handed out easily. They only get handed out to the best. Like Denis only earned Dune because of how fucking well he did Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love him as a director, man.
yeah, the GOAT.
So I feel like we could talk for fucking hours.
Time is it even?
I think we're
11 o'clock.
It's so late that my watch turns off. It's supposed to be bedtime. So Tyler, it's been an absolute fucking pleasure, my man. This has been great. If people want to find you, how do they go about that?
OE Tyler.
OE Tyler.
All socials.
All
Easy.
Socials. Okay. Do you have a separate one for media, or is that just underneath OE Tyler then?
I'm not trying to boast that right now. We're busy, bro. I got to figure out how I'm going to keep it same, but OE Media.
OE Media.
Yeah,
OE Media. OE Tyler on all socials. Yeah. We'll put those in the show notes. I am sure, Tyler, you will be back on the show because as you were talking, you would tell a story and I'd have so many questions about summary here. And then we get to the end and I'm asking a question there. We'll have to get you on again before you head off to Dubai, and then definitely when you get back, I want to hear all about that. I want to hear all the juicy stuff.
Yeah, bro.
So cool. Once again, man, it's been a slice. Thanks for coming on.
Ciao.